ahead and see what we can get into. We're going to do a little bit of Ghost to Ghost. This came from 1997. Enjoy.
First-time callers may reach out at area code 702-727-1222. 702-727-1222. This is Coast to Coast AM with Art Bell. Actually, it's Coast to Coast AM tonight, and then at least a portion of tomorrow night as well, so don't despair if you've not been able to get in. Lines are going nuts. We're taking ghost stories. The scarier, the better. But only those that are true. There's a reason for all this, because if you listen to the program collectively, it begins to get to the point where you cannot ignore the obvious, and that is that we are more than our physical presence in this short cosmic blink of a mortal life. Anyway, we'll get back to it in a moment. First, there was the telephone. You had to be tied to it. Then there was the portable telephone. And oh, they were terrible. They hummed, clicked, disconnected, offended. They were terrible. But they did free you from a line. And then finally, about a year and a half, 2 years ago, there was the digital telephone. It provided clear, concise audio and quite a bit more distance than the traditional telephone, but it cost more. Now, the next step. There is the Sanyo 917 digital spread spectrum for this phone. Now, why is this better? Let me count the ways. One, the audio is absolutely flawless. And I mean flawless. If the older digital phones had an occasional blip or digital artifact, the spread spectrum never does. Now, distance. Let me tell you about spread spectrum and distance. This phone, the new Sanyo, has a special feature, and the farther away you get from the base, it begins increasing power, both at the base and the remote handheld. And if you live in the country, if you live in an area where it's relatively flat, you can expect up to 2 miles distance from your base. In testing thus far, the Seagrain Company has managed to get out about 5.8 miles. Can you imagine that? I'm not saying you'll get that much, but they have. And it's just absolutely astounding. Now, it's not cheap, and most of the things, as you know, are not. Christmas is coming, and it's very, very doubtful we'll have enough supplies to take us through Christmas. So I suggest you get on the stick or on the phone, such as you have right now, and get one of these on the way. The Sanyo 917 spread spectrum digital. And oh yes, privacy. Nobody will ever hear a word said the person talking to. So, call Bob Crane in the morning. It's $179.95 delivered to you. That's a lot of money for a phone, but it's worth every single cent. The number is 1-800-522-8863. 1-800-522-8863. We are electrical beings. Our human body is a machine with a very complicated electrical system. And that's one of the reasons, by the way, that I'm certain we do not die. We remain as some form of energy. But back to my commercial. Magnets can have a profound effect on an electrical system. Yes. Today, more than 50 million people worldwide are using these magnets to relieve pain. Everything from carpal tunnel syndrome to headaches, circulation problems, you name it. All this dates back to the Egyptians and the Chinese. A lot more years than we've been a nation. Research proves that properly designed therapeutic magnets fight infection and enhance the body's own healing capabilities. Labs, professional pharmacy. A leader in healthcare products for 100 years. a long time. Offers everything from magnetic mattress pads to small therapeutic magnets for attaching to painful areas. What they'll do right now, without cost, is send you, they've got a 24-hour hotline, so you can call right now. They'll send you a free information kit, an audio cassette, and a catalog. You can't do that. So if you want to know more about what seems so natural, call them right now. 1-888-554-9144. You don't believe in this kind of thing? I suggest you get the free information. I really do. The number is 1-888-554-9144. Hard water. It's a very big problem all across the country. It's a habit. You're paying extra just to keep your water. You have decreased water pressure, towards open, and of course you have that ugly white stuff on faucets, shower heads, glasses, tires, everywhere wet. You can solve the problem very simply. Just do what we did at our house. Get the GMX magnetic water conditioning system. There's no salt, no electricity, no maintenance, and no wasted water. You'll get great subject. Your water heater will run more efficiently, and the water will actually feel smoother. The average home can be set up with a full treatment system for $660. In most cases, the GMX system pays for itself in 2 years or less. And even a 90-day money-back guarantee and a lifetime warranty, so why wouldn't you? Give Ruthie and Harry Brown a call at 1-800-406-0469. You've got nothing to lose but that ugly white stuff. Call 1-800-406-0469 and tell them Art Bell told you to call. All right, back now to our caller who's going to finish a story for us. Go ahead.
Okay. Where was I? Can you help me out with this?
Where were you?
No, I never took myself.
Well, you were trying to call me. You were trying to dial me, you said.
Yeah, no, that's right. I was trying to get through to you, and so I tried the 800 number and just got the usual busy. And then I tried that several times, and it stopped. I stopped getting anything. I stopped getting a ring. I stopped getting a bit. There was nothing. It was so dead.
Right.
And so I just kept trying that and kept trying that, and the same thing. It never would do anything. And then finally, I just had a simple. I said, Dad, and suddenly I heard these bells ringing in the phone. I mean, this is really true. I heard these bells. And I thought, oh, this is really kind of strange. And so I thought for sure. And right at that time, I turned back the radio on to see what was going on the radio.
Yes.
So at that point, he was saying how spirits can contact through, they can use electrical phones and electrical sources and stuff.
Yes.
And so when I tried again, I flipped back the radio, and the radio was flipping with recording. It was called a wild card line was on there. But it didn't seem to fit in with what was being said, so I just thought, maybe that's a signal. So I tried the wild card line, and I called, and during this whole period of time, I was getting very, very strange things on the other end of the phone. In other words, it rang, it wouldn't ring, but not the usual kinds of ringing and not ringing. It was very, very strange. And
okay, we've got to get to it here.
Okay, finally, by the very end, when he was off the air.
He is me.
No, when James was off the air.
Oh, James on Tom, yeah.
That's right. When James got off the air, then I started to dial these same numbers over and over again, and they were all perfectly normal. They responded. The signal was there. And then suddenly it was like, wow, after the whole thing was over with, and I settled down. You can tell I get excitable. When I settled down, there was this thing that I remembered. The very first lady who called in to talk to James, when they were talking about her person that she wanted to contact, there was this point where James said maybe it's just because it's over the phone or something, but he was having difficulty. He kept hearing this, but I kept getting visiting Joey, something like that, and something when you were little.
Okay, listen, you're not coming to a point here. What is the point of this?
The point is, the things that he said were about me, that didn't fit the lady, were exactly about me and my past and my dad. And at the very same time that I was thinking all these things, that's what he was saying. And then after I got off the phone, the point is that there was an old picture that I have of my dad that was always in the drawer, never was in the place else but the drawer. And as I was walking away after the program was over, I found this right in the middle of the hallway with my dad.
I see. All right. Well, thank you very much. I don't have something like that at physical manifestation. That's really occurred. All right, about 12 years ago, my mother discovered my 11-year-old sister's stuffed animal, an Ewok. Remember those from Star Wars? Return of the Jedi? In the outside trash can. She felt this to be very odd, for it was in mint condition, not to mention very cute. So, Mom brought it back into the house and put the stuffed animal in her bedroom closet. If my sister didn't want it, she figured she'd hang on to it for a while or give it away to someone else. Well, later that night, after my mom had gone to bed, she woke to hear a rustling, splashing sound coming from her closet. This obviously frightened my mother, for it was coming from the exact spot where the stuffed animal was, needless to say. The next morning, it went back into the trash can. Well, this is why I keep my closet doors closed. This is why I don't keep things of this sort in my closet, because everybody knows things like that hang out, do things in closets. On my international line, you're on the air. Hello.
Good evening, Bill. That's Ross from the Australian UFO hotline. I have 2 matters for you tonight. The second matter is relating to a strange event that happened a number of years ago with emergency services personnel going out to a place in Clayton, Victoria. Some strange events there, but first of all...
Okay, before you get started, where are you in Australia? What part?
We're in southern Victoria.
Victoria, all right.
Yes. That's south of New South Wales and north of Tasmania. Now, you asked me last time we spoke to report back to you on this an amazing fireball event that happened earlier this month.
Yes.
Do you want me to cover that tonight?
No, actually not tonight, because tonight we're doing, as you can hear, ghost stories. So,
well, we had reports sometime 10 years ago where a distraught family rang emergency services and police went out to a place in Clayton, and the family was distraught about this revolving sound that was going around the perimeter of a wooden home, a fairly large one at that, and the police, when they turned up, thought everyone was a bit crazy. They said, look, come and have a cup of tea and I'll start in 15 minutes' time. And this sound started and the walls started shaking and bending as the sound was revolving around each of the perimeter walls. And he called other police and ended up having a whole stack of police there trying to figure out where this sound was coming from. And to this day, no one knows how this sound was produced. It wasn't coming from the outside of the wall. It wasn't coming from the inside of the wall. And it was just one of these strange events.
and the walls were actually buckling.
The walls were buckling, and there appeared to be moisture oozing out of the walls as well.
Oh, I'd be out of there real quick.
And that place hasn't been occupied since.
And I can understand that.
I'm ringing on the emergency incoming line, and I should go. I'm sorry to cut you short.
That's quite all right. Thank you very much for the call all the way from Australia. Not far from Tasmania. Yes, indeed. If you're outside the country, someplace or another, Australia or Europe, wherever, South America, North America, I suppose all the way to the pole, you can reach us internationally toll-free by getting hold of the ATST AT&T operator, become the AT&T operator. I don't know how you do that in your country, wherever you are. Ask for AT&T operator, you'll get it. And then ask her to call 800-893-0903. And the call will be free. You will not be charged. At all. Totally free from any country in the world. That number again, 800-893-0903. East of the Rockies, you're on the air. Good morning.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm calling you from Schaghticoke, New York, which is, believe it or not, the burial ground of the Iroquois Indian. I'm 1 mile away from their burial ground.
Okay.
That is not my story. I was in the funeral business for 7 years and nothing ever happened. And I divorced my husband and lived alone. And
I think you were in the funeral business.
funeral business, they came and went.
I understand. With your ex-husband?
Uh-huh.
Yes, okay.
So everybody always thought, oh, you have both stories for nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing. Well, the story began with the people that were totally parents. When I was little girl, I used to go over there and father them. And an old lady used to talk to her son. He said she would never accept it, and her husband was ready to put her away. And then when I had moved by that house 2 doors away, she died the year I moved there. And she left me in his little chair. So I had the chair in the corner of the parlor. And one night it was August 2nd at 10 after 11. It was Eastern time, I was watching the moon. And I smelled like mold. Okay?
Like mold.
Mold. And this little gray thing about, let's say, 4'2", comes running through limping. Honestly, I never believed in ghosts. And we had a great day, and we started growling and ran up the stairs. And I'm thinking, no, I just think I'm tired. And that was that. The next night, my dog at 10 after 11 trying to search in the dream. Because everybody already told me 1 o'clock.
Right.
It could be 1 a.m.
Right. 13, no. 13 times would be 1,300.
Right, 13 hours.
Okay, that'd be 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Up to 1 o'clock. Okay. So what happened was, this little thing happened again, same time. Same smell, everything was almost the same. So this time I'm like, this is not, a dream. So I told my mother and my father was alone. My sister comes over that night with her boyfriend in the basement. And they sat there, and all of a sudden, 10 after 11, they came through again. Only the light bulb, now, people talk about light bulbs. What happened was it flashed, the bulb did not break, the phone is still in. They ran out, I stayed. I wanted to get to the bottom of it.
Sure.
Replaced the light bulb. Next night, then we got thin light bulb. And when I went to the kitchen, I'm nervous wreck. I'm ready to move. There's this little book on my counter. It's called The Mechanical Chocolate Shower. I'm coming through it in 1932. Never thought, swear to God.
Yeah.
It ends on August 26th. A little kid's diary of Little League. On the second birthday. It is a name year, Roy DeLuca. I wrote it down. And from the funeral, we've got a lot of ties with this churches. And it's just the ministry. And I think it's called kind of like a really happy. And it's called the priest. He said, we don't have to really talk about it. We just said it is possible. So that there's no that. Because when you come over the phone, like it today, it came through. He said, you had a long time. I could, anyone who did no character is not rescuing. It's got to be a reason why we didn't know what to do. So I'm coming to this book again and go my son and lay the roof up. So he was in the movie, how we connect us. I bring the book with me in. And you guys can think, this is really to get the book and I told you. And he said, it's really for this book belongs to Bobby Jones. And he drowned. 5 we were kids. And I said, Jones. I said, my next door neighbor was Baby Jones and she died this year. So I go to my mother's place. I said, how did he die? I don't know. So I don't know what to do. So I said that night after all this happened with him. And I had a dream of a bicycle with a bent wheel. A little old-fashioned bike. So So next morning, I'm down City Hall looking for the records. I signed his death certificate. His doctor's child got his very covered, arrived by newspaper. You guys get the newspaper back home.
Okay, we've got a hurry here.
Yes, I'm trying. So what happened was he started on the bike, rode it down to the river, across the railroad track, slipped in at 6 p.m. They raked the river and they recovered the body at 1 in the afternoon, the following afternoon. So the priest told me when he comes back, show him his death certificate on copy. He said, tell him he has to go, his mother is dead. I did this. He never came back.
Well, that sounds exactly right. Thank you very much for the call. The Catholic Church does not like to admit that these things occur, but any of you who have ever heard Father Malachi Martin, who freely talks of these things, he is an exorcist and has been for a long time. Father Martin will tell you without equivocation that they absolutely do occur. Now, I think that priests who are not used to dealing with these sorts of things are perhaps frightened of them, and perhaps with good cause. But soon you will hear Father Martin on the program again. He is presently writing 3 books simultaneously, so he's pretty busy. But you will hear Father Martin again, and when you hear him, there will be no doubt in your mind, none whatsoever, that evil exists and inhabits the bodies of those who live on this earth. Until somebody like Father Martin comes along, it's going down the road, you're looking for all the big and it's completely recyclable itself. You'll find it in your kitchen, you'll find it in your garage, and now the material is being used in the construction of new homes. Do you know what it is? Here's the answer to today's Eco Quiz. The environmentally friendly, completely recyclable building material is steel, and more builders across the country are starting to use it to frame houses. If enough of them do, it will help take the pressure off harvesting our forests. Other benefits, steel framing components are made from recycled material and can be recycled over and over again, so they never have to take up valuable landfill space. Get the facts, explore the alternatives, and buy recycle. This is Red Akins on Eco Quiz. Eco Quiz is a public service of the National Recycling Coalition and the Steel Recycling Institute. It also presses for family action and the land and value that undercuts the long-term justice. As we continue to respond in pathways to eradicate pressures in our market way, we're putting ourselves up to experience specific symptoms. Once we become safety, we can avoid one of several things, which will supervise our heart and home, or become drug abuser. Others see that there are return back to a time of health withdrawal. The answer is simple. Learn to stay objective.
A special observation exercise is changing the way physicians and psychologists treat the effects of stress by using the calming power of the mind.
For more information, contact our Stress Hotline and ask for a careful assurance what you should know about learning to stress.
Call 1-800-877-3227.
That's 1-800-877-3227. Buy low, sell high, and diversify. Simply put, these are the three most important rules to successful investing. If the stock market believes the most overvalued prices in history, and the gold market the best value in 12 years, now is the time to apply these three rules of success. So call the Gold Investment Group at 1-800-721-3247 for a free gold investment kit. Call now, 1-800-721-3247. 1-800-721-3247.
This is healthy. Few people know the signs of an impending stroke, and the person having the stroke is often least aware of the signs. Dr. Michael Walker of the National Institute of Neurological Disorders and Stroke.
First of all, it involves a master computer when it attacks the brain, and therefore the patient may not be aware because of malfunction of his brain. But more likely, it's a failure to recognize these important symptoms and to recognize that something has to be done immediately.
The symptoms of an impending stroke include sudden weakness or numbness of the arm or leg, sudden dimness or loss of vision, especially in one eye, sudden difficulty speaking or understanding others, sudden and severe headache with no known cause, and sudden dizziness or falls, especially in the presence of some of the other signs.
The response should be to get the patient to medical help as rapidly as possible.
Dr. Walker says the most effective medical help currently available should be administered within a brief time frame following a stroke. For the National Institute of Neurological Disorders and Stroke, I'm Doris McMillan.
Also, inside that box full of flowers, there's a card from you with your message of love and caring in your name, all handwritten. So it's very personal, very emotional, and extremely effective. Any sort of special day or occasion at all. Once you use them, you'll use them again and again and again. They are the best deal on flowers in the world. And the number to call is 1-800 1-800-562-6438. That's 1-800-562-6438. The Flower Farm, absolutely fresh flowers. You probably missed out on some great investment opportunities. We all have, but here's one you definitely won't want to miss. The prepaid cellular phone industry. Back in the 80s, fortunes were made in cellular technology. If you missed that one, prepaid cellular is your second chance. 42 million subscribers spent more than $20 billion annually, and the industry is still growing. This investment involves some who qualify and a minimum participation of $8,400. Evaluate the risk and the potential rewards of this explosive opportunity by ordering our free investment kit and video. Learn how your $8,400 participation could be worth $40,000, $50,000, even $60,000 or more, plus an income for the rest of your life. Get your free investment kit by calling Wireless Communications at 1-800-444-1050 and find out how this prepaid cellular investment can become part of your IRA. Call 1-800-444-1050. That's 1-800-444-1050. Don't let another great opportunity slip away. Okay, this is from Pam in Anchorage, Alaska. All right, this is my story. It's a true one. I was a young 24-year-old stationed at Whitman Air Force Base in Knob-Noster, Missouri. I hope I got that right. I was living in an old house that had been remodeled. The house about 150 years old. Now, I'd been living there for about 3 months when one night I woke up because of a terrible stench. It permeated the entire house. The smell, a combination of dirt, rot, and alcohol. It was so bad that it woke me up out of a deep sleep. I got up, went throughout the house to try to find the source, couldn't find a thing. Next night, again, awakened, the same smell. This time, I went across the hall to my roommate's bedroom and woke her up. She woke up asking what the awful smell was, so it confirmed in my mind I wasn't dreaming. The third night, again awakened by the smell, but this time, an old man was sitting at the foot of my bed. He had distinct features, but he was transparent. He smelled of rot, dirt, and alcohol. He just sat there. I was so startled, I sat up in bed afraid to move for hours until daylight. I went to work the next day, exhausted because of the lack of sleep. I worked with a woman whose father owned the house that I lived in. And so I described the old man to her that I'd seen at the foot of my bed. I told her about the awful smell of dirt and alcohol. She had a strange look on her face as I described it all. She began to tell me about the couple who'd owned the house before her father. They were an elderly couple, married for 50 years. The woman got sick and he took care of her until she died in the house that I am now living in. The old man became so lonely and distraught that he began to drink, never leaving the house. They found the old man dead. He died in what was my bedroom. This, of course, disturbed me. I had to do something about it because I was not getting any sleep. That night, I resolved to take care of the problem. Again, I was awakened by the smell. There he was at the foot of my bed again. So I looked at him. I told him I wasn't afraid of him. I told him he was dead. And this was not his home anymore. It's mine. I told him I was taking very good care of his old house and that he needed to leave me alone and go away. He just looked sad, stared at me for a moment or so, and disappeared before my eyes. He never came back again, and neither did the smell. It really happened. West of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hi.
Hi, Mark. This is Tiff up in Stanley, Washington.
Hi, Dish.
And I got a story for you.
All right.
About a 97-year-old aunt 2 years ago died. And the funny thing was, is before she died, we were called up to the hospital that morning. We said, oh, she doesn't live. We all went up there.
Sure.
We all sat around, and of course, she didn't pass on. She kept saying, this is Saturday night. You don't die till Sunday. So we're all sitting there all real nervous, and everybody says, well, you, your brother, and your husband all stay behind. And when she was ready for that point in time to come get us. Before going out the door, they had taken her wedding ring off, which her husband had made just out of a tube piping. And they'd been married a great many years, you know, Christian people.
Sure.
So they left, and pretty soon the nurse came in, and I usually went over during the day and did this to my aunt's hair. And this night I laid next to the bed, and my brother was reading a passage as I laid by still waters. And I looked down at her and I said, you know, this is a hell of a way not to get your hair combed. And she looked over at me and she drew this breath. And you have a vein, a jugular vein that goes up and down during your breathing process.
Sure.
It had stopped. And I looked at her and I said, I can't believe it. She just died on me. So I looked over at my husband. I was really upset. My family came in. And I was distraught over the fact that they had taken her jewelry off of her before she died. Especially the ring. It didn't mean anything. I went downstairs with my husband, cried hysterically, went back upstairs. I wear gold rings on my fingers. I looked down, and the ring that they had taken off her finger was off my finger. It was gone. My ring had disappeared. And I'm checking all over the place. I couldn't find it. So that night we went home, and we had located it. That night we went home, went to bed. Next day got up, it was gone. Had a dream that my family was trying to take my jewelry. So, of course, I had swallowed the ring. Obviously, I'm never going to get this ring back. Next day, they're setting up for the funeral, and they said, well, we're going to bury her. And I felt very bad that they had taken the ring in the first place.
Yes, of course.
I had taken another ring from out of my jewelry box, and I placed it into her pocket, which at the grave, when we got ready to bury her, ended up in her hand. Nobody knew how it got there. And once their hands are together, they're stiffened. I can't explain it, but they're very hard. You cannot pull them apart.
Right.
The ring was in between her fingers.
Oh, my.
How would you like to wake up to something like that?
Thank you, but I appreciate the story.
You're welcome. One thing before I go.
Yes.
My husband says, that guy that was on the, about the submarine?
Oh, yes.
He said, have you ever seen Kristen and Price?
Oh, yes, of course.
The two stories match very closely.
Well, similar but different.
Yeah, my husband he's too chicken to call you. we love you to death, and we take you all over the world. Have a good night.
Thank you. Take care. That was quite a story. Obviously, that woman had to have that ring. Understandable. I wonder why, after death, we seem to complete things that are uncompleted in life. Last acts. First time caller line, you're on the air, huh?
Hi there. This is Janice, and I'm from Oregon, California.
Hi, Janice.
And this story happened quite a few years ago when my family was living in Miami. One day, my mother, I have to back up to say that she was quite decisive. And one day, my brother was preparing to go frogging in the Everglades during that night. Mm-hmm. And she begged him not to go. She said, please don't go, you can't go. And he said, what's the matter, Mom? And this was going to be a plane crash.
Oh, my.
And he was not as much of a believer in my mother's powers as I was, of course. And when his friend came to pick him up to go frogging, she also begged him, please don't go out. There's going to be a terrible plane crash. And sure enough, there was. This was the very famous flight. I believe it was Flight 410 that crashed in the Everglades many years ago.
Oh my, yes, I recall that.
And as you will recall then, if you're familiar with that one,
I am.
it is a haunted airliner.
Actually, airliners of the same airline are haunted by
that crew.
That crew, that's exactly right.
Awesome. Well, this even goes on that it became a book, And then later on, my father was hospitalized, and he had a very nice crew taking care of him there in the hospital in Miami. And my mother had mentioned to the one nurse, she said, "Are you going to be on tomorrow as well?" And she said, "Oh no, tomorrow's a big day." She said, "We have all the family coming over. We rented a large TV. They're premiering the movie of the Boots of Flight. I believe it was 410. And
Was it 410 or 401? I can't
401, I think you're right. I think it was 401. And she said, it was, my dad was on that crew.
Well, look, I can answer this. I can tell you, I have friends in the airline industry, and they will not talk because, it's a good way to end a career.
Oh, yeah.
But they tell me there's no question about it. Stews and crews, pilots, co-pilots, have reported seeing crew members from that flight on flights, and this has been going on, not told generally outside the airlines now for years. Eventually, when some of these people retire, we'll get the stories. I know some of them, but I promised, so it is definitely going on.
Well, I have heard about that when they recovered certain parts and put them into other airlines to recycle different parts that were salvageable.
Yes.
That any plane that received parts from that flight ended up with crew members of the downed plane artist.
Well, I don't have any comment on that, but I thank you for the story, and I can verify without giving details that crew members of that flight have indeed been showing up on current flights. The following comes from somebody who calls himself from in Sitka, Alaska. Dear Art, I thought I'd fax you an experience my family had when my father passed away in 1992. The Alaska native way is to have a 40-day party for the deceased. You prepare their favorite food, drinks, and so forth. My family was cooking turkey and seafood. Approximately, there were about 15 people present. When the root beer came down the stairs, leading into the kitchen, looked as if someone was carrying a single six-pack. Just as suddenly as it occurred, it stopped on the bottom of the stairs. This, folks, is the root beer coming down by itself. We still have things occurring, like kitchen cabinet doors opening, as if someone is getting cut down, doors opening and closing, footsteps, just the feeling of being close to someone. We're not scared by it, but we believe and understand my dad is still taking care of us. Enjoy listening to you. A true story. Mr. The Rockies, you're on the air. Hello. Hello.
Hello?
Yes.
Oh, you're talking to me now, but listening to talk to the other people.
That's true.
It's very interesting.
Where are you?
Lynchburg, Virginia.
Lynchburg, Virginia. Okay, go right ahead.
Well, the story I've got me to thinking all these years about the energies involved in life and death processes because I saw a really formed ghost. I had a partner with me that saw it also. I was a respiratory therapist working in big city hospitals in Houston, Texas.
Yes.
And we were on the code blue team, saw a lot of death, I'm afraid.
Sure.
Sorry to say. And this one night, this gentleman came in, was in his late 60s, early 70s. He was very tall, very distinct-looking fellow, wearing blue jeans and a black and red plaid shirt. So, I mean, he was going to stand out in the crowd, And he would have a heart attack. And we were doing CPR on him. After about 45 minutes, the physicians in charge called it. And my partner was tuning the TV and all the paraphernalia we used to resuscitate someone off. And he was going out into the hallway in the emergency room, and he looked down into the lobby, where about 20 to 30 members of his family had come, and the doctor was explaining why he died. And when you look down there, I guess the lighting was just right or something. You could see this guy who just died standing there waving his hands in front of the faces of all the family members, going from one to the other trying to get them to see me.
Oh
You
my.
could see him mouthing the words. If you looked a little bit, you could see him mouthing the words like, what's the matter with you all? Why are you all crying? It's like you didn't know he was dead. And you could clearly see he was still in that funky, see-through kind of image. He was still wearing the clothes that he was still wearing when they did him. So that makes you start thinking about those clothes.
How could you handle that?
Well, I just puzzled over it. My little left partner was a smoker, and she freaked out and lit a cigarette, and she still so freaked out she lit a second cigarette, not realizing she still had the first cigarette. And, you know,
I can relate to that.
you need to quit smoking. It's bad for you.
I know, all right.
Yeah, I know.
I know, I'll be waving at my relatives. With a cigarette in my hand. I'm here. All right, thank you. Take care. That bothers me. That, and I've heard so many stories like that. People who don't seem to understand what they've done. It doesn't seem to have registered on them that they died. Consider how frantic you would be. You're dead, but you don't know it. You're translucent and cannot be seen, except perhaps by a few. Emergency medical workers, doctors, nurses. And I wonder if you finally get to disappear when you realize you're dead. Dog line, you're on the air. Hello.
Hello, Art.
Yes, hi.
Yes, hi. This is Helen from Chicago.
Hi, Helen.
Yeah. Well, my husband died quite a few years ago, and then about 2 years after he was gone, I was watching TV one night, and I was laying on the couch, my front room, and my dog was by my feet, and he seemed to be asleep, and my husband knew this dog well when he was living, and suddenly my dog sat up. He slowly got off the couch, and he sat down in front of this chair next to the couch where my husband always sat. And he started to wag his tail. And then he stood up, and he put his paws on the chair, and his tail was still wagging, and his head went down a little bit, and his ears went back, and he looked like he was being petted.
Boy. Oh, boy.
And I slowly sat up. This went on for, I'm watching the dog for about 5 minutes. And I slowly sat up, and I softly said to my husband, I assumed it was him. I said, Johnny, if that's you, I'm very happy that you're here, and I love you. Then after another minute, then my dog got off from the chair, and he lay down by the chair, and he was looking in the kitchen with his ears perked up, and his head was going from side to side, like my husband was in the kitchen, and he's watching him walk around. And I was really happy. That's kind of spooky, but I wasn't afraid. I was happy. I was sure that was my husband was here.
Well, he probably was.
Yes.
I believe these things occur. I really appreciate your call. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
Take care. There you go. I believe that, and I first mentioned pets earlier, but I believe that our animals see things we don't. I rather suspect we see things they don't. But I think they have a unique ability to sense or feel or see. I'm not sure which because I don't really know. But they feel things and know things and perhaps see things that we don't and can't. And so that lady's story makes a whole lot of sense to me. All right. I think we're going to end it here for tonight with regard to Ghost to Ghost AM. And we are going to continue tomorrow evening. The lines continue to ring relentlessly off the hook. So I know there are many, many more of you with similar stories. And this year, because of the fact that Halloween is actually on Friday, All Hallows Day today, it will continue to be All Hallows Day as I come on the air in some time zones for Friday night, Saturday morning. So if you didn't get in, don't despair. We are going to continue this to some degree tomorrow night. And again, I say to you what I said earlier. As you listen through the evening, some stories better than others, but the majority certainly convincing. Collectively, I find it nearly impossible to ignore the evidence that there is something certainly very significant that lies beyond this very simple and short, cosmically very short existence, mortal existence we have on Earth. And it is programs like this, if you listen carefully to them, that will convince you. At any rate, it has, as always, been interesting, and I invite you back tomorrow night for more, if you have the intestinal fortitude for it. So that's it for tonight. From the high desert, I'm Art Bell. Wherever you are, is a solid position for a terrific climb tomorrow. Just last Monday, which was Black Monday for Wall Street, you announced your stock had on the same day passed the $30,000 mark, and I predicted this week it would go to $35,000. And as of this moment, or the closing of the world market, it has done exactly that. So you watch now, over the weekend and into next week, she's headed toward 40,000. You get a chance to go to the world market? Jump on over and make a mention of road dollars. How do you find the road market? You go to my website at www.artbell.com, and you will see it on the left-hand side, link to the road market. Just feel free to jump on over. In addition, last night I put up a really strange picture from Strange Universe. In fact, as a matter of fact, I said it was going to be tonight. The program covering the alien body that I've got on the website, the photo of the alien body, is going to be on Strange Universe Monday night. So I missed it by a day, or they moved it by a day, I think. And it, in a lot of ways, that photograph more of it fits Halloween than it does an alien. I think you look at that photograph and there is something more horribly creature-like about it. Something out of a bad dream here on Earth than you would find elsewhere. But it is represented to be the body of an alien, and the story will unfold Monday on Strange Universe. And also, this note up front, hi Art, here is a report of a significant Halloween sighting from Reno, Nevada. My name is Jeremy, this is his full name. I'll give it Jeremy Dunn. I'm the board op here at KOH until midnight Friday night. He says, I had a couple of listeners call to report a red light moving very slowly south of town. They tracked it for several minutes. I went outside and I saw it myself. Now, this is my board op. I called the Reno Tahoe airport and guess what? They were getting calls on it. The tower saw it and, as a matter of fact, had it on radar but did not know what it was. A departing flight reported the object to be at about 9,000 feet altitude. Thought you might know, Jeremy, 73 is Jeremy, oh, he's a ham. Jeremy is also a ham. So there you go, a Halloween sighting of all things of a red light, noted even by radar up there, as things continue to flash across our skies. Another very good Phoenix picture coming shortly. As a matter of fact, not of the original March 13th Phoenix lights, but of a recent UFO right over the city of Phoenix. What is it about Phoenix that's attracting UFOs? Linda will have a specific report on this one coming up this Sunday. At any rate, we launch into the world of the unseen shortly. And it's interesting, I was doing an interview, did a sort of an off-the-cuff interview on KST in Sacramento earlier in the day. And since it is Halloween, they decided to call me and do a brief interview on Halloween. And I told the talk show host there, go ahead, give it a shot. Try it after the interview. I said it on the air, open your lines and don't laugh at people, don't scoff at them, and just watch what happens. And then I later got back and said, boy, were you right. Lines lit up and stayed lit up. Thanks. Now, why would ghost stories be important to hear beyond the obvious fun, the vicarious fun, I might add, of hearing somebody else scared out of their wits? Now, I say vicarious because that's really what it is, when it, at least for me, when it comes down to something really happening to you, as in me, then the vicarious part of it dies a little bit. And I found out the other night, scared the hell out of me during the Brad Steiger interview. I know that a lot of you heard it, but right in the middle of that interview, just as I finished a break, and the music was fading, and I took my headphones off to head off into the other room, something went on my door. And I mean, just like that. I don't even know that my mic was able to adequately reproduce the pounding sound that occurred on my door. Really, really loud. Not an outside door, no outside rattle, no lock, none of that baloney. This was something that pounded on my door to the degree that I'm sure had I been all the way turned around and seen it, the door would have rattled inward. Visibly. And so since I was already on the way up, I went right over and opened the door that quick. And there was nothing there. Now there are 4 possibilities in my home for such a sound. 3 of them are kitty cats who were sound asleep on my bed. 4th is my wife. who also, until I interrupted her, was sound asleep on our bed. So in other words, none of the four suspects have made the sound. So what pounded on my door at a decibel level that would cause Alfred Hitchcock that were here around to raise his eyes in surprise, I have no idea. But I do know this, the vicarious part of it stopped like that, and the actual scary part of it began for me. Of course, it really was scary. And so anyway, I will attempt to vicariously enjoy the ghost stories of all of you out there. Because then I'll look forward to you to call. All right, we're about ready to get underway, though I do have a current situation that I suppose I should address. I just got this from John in Santa Barbara. Hi, Art, I know you're not on the air right now. It's 15 minutes before the show. I am in Santa Barbara. I live alone and just went into my bathroom to find the bottom of my shower tub, red with what looks like blood. There is also a red stain of a handprint on the wall in the shower. Oh, I've been here about a year now. I've never had anything or seen anything like this before. I don't really know what to do. I'm shaking now. I'm not sure I'm going to stay in this place tonight. I was wondering if, when you get on the air, you might be able to ask your listeners for advice. I've tried to call my landlady, but there is no answer at her place, of course. Right now I'm thinking of heading to a motel. What would you do? I wish you would do it in the safe Halloween. I'm sure I'm not going to forget this for a long time. But the motel has a radio so I can hear your show. Now listen, my friend. If your shower is covered with blood, and if there really is a bloody hand stain on the shower wall, my most sincere advice to you would be to call 911. Before concluding that you are merely having a Halloween prank, I think that I would get hold of the police. And they will quickly enough tell you if you have blood on your wall, if you have blood in your shower. And if you do, it is better that you would call 911 than your landlady or somebody else. Believe me. Alright, now to the phones and the unexpected. Whatever it is going to be tonight, here it comes. West of the Rockies, you are on the air. Good evening. Hello. Hello. Yeah, I'm in Cape Junction, Oregon. Cape Junction, Oregon, alright? Yeah, my mother was a safe dealer, and I've seen a lot of things over the years. I'm 46 years old, and they don't scare me anymore, but I've had several of them happen. One of them that really sticks out in my mind, several years ago when my would-be wife and I were together, we were at my mother's house, sleeping on the floor, and I woke up about 3 o'clock in the morning and I seen this mist at the end of the bed, and it was a gray mist. And so I went up to figure it, I'm watching it, and it's moving back and forth, and it looked like the Grim Reaper is what it looked like. And my wife woke up, seen it, hollered, and it went away. A week later, she become very ill, and we took her to the doctor. They said it was an inflamed ovary. I took her home, we took her back again in another week, and they said it was stomach flu. And finally, something just told me to take her to another doctor, and her appendix broke. I'd been broke for 2 weeks, and she almost died. Oh, that's much too long. 2 weeks is much too long. Well, the doctor kept told her it was an inflamed ovary or stomach flu, but I got worried. She was looking really bad. Well, she was lucky to be alive at all. Well, yeah, some kind of antibiotics in her system formed a bag around it, and that's the only thing that saved her. But there's been several incidents. I've made several predictions. 9 of them come true, the ones that I made, and it's scary sometimes. All right, my friend, thank you very much for the call. The human body is an amazing thing. far more amazing than the scientists are able to yet discern. In some cases, the human body is capable of protecting against what otherwise would be a fatal disease, and there are no exceptions. Sometimes things just cure themselves. Cancer, AIDS, to the point that AIDS can no longer, the HIV virus can no longer be detected. People have cured themselves literally from the deathbed. Briefly escaping, doing himself. He's proven that to me and to a lot of other people as well. It can be done. A miracle? No. What do you think? First time caller line, you're on the air. Good evening.
Good evening.
Where do they tell you, sir?
I'm Samuel, and I'm on the island of Kauai.
The island of Kauai, the beautiful island of Kauai. Yes, sir.
It is. Okay, I got one that should freak you out. I was about 6 years old, and laying in bed, and we had clock radio, and I know it was like about 4 or 7, maybe 4 or 8 in the morning, and I just woke up for some reason. I have no idea why, and I had this really kind of creepy feeling, and I looked up, and there was, it certainly looked like the Grim Reaper. It was a black hood, couldn't see the face, and I just freaked.
That might have been the devil.
The devil?
The devil.
Well, why do you say that?
Oh, well, it just might have been. I mean, generally, when people talk about visitations by guides or angels that are going to take them, from this life into the next, they are light creatures, or they're wearing white clothing. Now, if your guy had on black clothing, kind of the men in black of MIB from below,
Yeah.
That, I'm not trying to worry you. I'm just saying that you might want to review the way you're living your life.
Well, no, let me think the story first off.
Right.
Okay, so I kind of freaked, didn't quite like the character that I saw in front of me, so I closed my eyes, kind of pulled the covers up over me, and I got this tingly kind of sparkly sensation of, I don't know what you would call it, energy or something or other, and I closed my eyes, and a couple seconds, I don't know how long it was, a minute, I opened my eyes again, and I knew I was awake, and I looked up, and I could see a hallway ceiling passing in front of me, up above me, and I went, what the heck is going on here? And I was freaking floating, man, down the, I wasn't walking because I was on my back, and I'm cruising down our hallway, and I certainly closed my eyes again because I did not like what I was experiencing.
Would have been a good opportunity to change the light bulbs if you could.
So I closed my eyes again, and we had another clock radio in the digital, you know what I mean, in the living room.
Yes.
And I opened my eyes again, and I'm laying on the floor in my living room underneath our coffee table with, I can see the clock radio, the digital lit up, and like 1 minute had passed from when I can see the clock when I was in the bedroom and I first experienced this. And so I was completely wide awake, and needless to say, I didn't move. I slept underneath the coffee table until the sun come up. But, yeah.
So then you don't really know, do you, what occurred? You don't really know.
I'm 6 years old. How would I know I still don't know this day what the heck happened?
You must have really had a bad 6-year-old. You must have really done something terrible.
I was a bad 20-year-old. I was a good 6-year-old.
All right. Thank you very much for the call.
Sure.
A bad 20-year-old. Yeah, we're all bad 20-year-olds, weren't we? There's some way, somehow, that I suppose I have to hope that God judges people at a latter age. And that may well be one bad thing about dying at 20. I mean, think back to your own life, You'd die at 20. You've gone through a full life review, short as it would have been at at the age of 20, you would look a whole lot different than you would at 40, 50, 60, 70 years old. Think about it. Well, Pipeline, you're on the air. Hi.
How you doing, Art?
I'm doing all right. Where are you?
New Orleans.
New Orleans. Yes, sir.
We're getting better soon.
I know New Orleans really is a place where this kind of stuff flourishes.
Yeah, and the one I'm going to tell you, it has something to do with Marie LaRose.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And it's a real spooky story, but it actually happened. I'm kid you not. This is how it would happen. I had some friends that were in a play at UNO. It was like a cosplay film. And one of the pictures I had was the girl who played Marie LaRose. And I had dug them up a couple of months ago.
Dug them up. All right, on that note, we're going to have to pause.
Okay.
We're at breakpoint here. Now, do you want to hold on and we'll let you unwind your story? And it's,
well, I got so many stories from being down here, but this one...
this is the one we... right, that's what we want. The very best story you've got, and it sounds like that's what's just ahead. As we do every year, this is Coast to Coast AM. Once again, here I am. Good morning, everybody. Great stories again tonight. Those Roast AM in extension, in overtime. We'll get back to it in a moment. We've got something new for you this morning from the Sea Training Company. It's very small, but you know, a lot of times good things come in very small packages. How many of you remember the Thistle transistor radios way back in the 60s? Remember those? I had one, of course, immediately. This is perhaps in the tradition size-wise, but it's brand new. It's from, of course, Sanjin. It is the DT-110 digital AM/FM stereo radio. To begin with, this very finely crafted radio is a whole lot smaller, I say, than my traditional comparison of pack of cigarettes. Fits very easily in the shirt pocket, for example. Purse, briefcase, whatever. Comes in a soft case with a belt loop. Now keep in mind these features, because I'm not going to tell you the price to the end. It comes with a set of Sanjin's high-fidelity earbuds. The clean sound, the bass response is not perfect. Digital tuning, 15 FM and 6 AM preset memories. Priority station recall, auto scan, and oh yes, one more thing, runs on 2 AAA batteries. And better yet, if you forget to turn the radio off, it turns itself off for you. Pretty smart. And now, the price on the brand new item. What would you guess? $150? $99? How about $49.95? The brand new Sanjin, little bitty but very powerful DT-110, $49.95. Here you go, folks. Have fun. Bob Crane opens the doors at make that 9 o'clock actually on Saturday morning. 9 o'clock, on that 9 to 1, he's open 9 to 1 Pacific on Saturday. And then it's also, of course, on Monday morning at 7:30 a.m. The number is, for those of you who love to get stuff first, the BP110 by Sargent, the number is 1-800-522-8863. That's 1-800-522-8863. The Sea Crane Company, and I'm telling you right now, you will not be disappointed in this radio. I love getting first on. We've got sort of a variety of new products that are going to be coming up over the next several weeks, and you are going to absolutely love some of them. I'm afraid I'm a tech toy nut, and I'll give you kind of a little hint of one of the things that's coming up. We're going to be getting into night vision, and I know quite a bit about night vision. I've been doing a lot of playing with night vision lately. I'll sort of tell you that story as the evening moves on. It's remarkable, and we are in the midst of testing the best night vision stuff. So coming shortly to the Sea Crane Company, something that you are going to love. Night vision. Now, one more little item, not so little, considering this is the 31st. So, you know what? You've got tonight only. That's it, tonight only, to get this deal, and then it expires. You're hearing a Thermac 3, Nature, Spirit, and Pride, and This Dance. The entire CD is just like this, dedicated to the Native American. And it is just wonderful, soul-grabbing music by Michael Holm. And by the way, if you're the first to order a CD at $15.98, or a cassette at $9.98, one of the first 25 tonight, this last night for the deal, you get an autographed copy by Cusco's own Michael Holm. You can also order, tonight only, a special limited edition 3-CD box set, which contains all of the Thermac, number 1, number 2, number 3, for an incredible $39.95. And with it, get the beautiful, and it is, Buffalo Spirit Warrior, featured on the cover of the Thermac 3, an autographed poster, actually. So there it is. The last night, folks. Last chance. Once again, Cusco's new Thermac 3, $15.98 for a CD, 6. Make that $9.98 for a cassette, or the limited edition 3-CD Thermac series for $39.95. Call 1-800-562-8283. That's 1-800-562-8283. It's a shame that it has to end, but there's an end to everything, including us. Now, back to our wild card line. You're back on the air again.
How you doing, man?
All right.
I'll just recap it for a little bit. Actually, I was looking for some important papers. You know, I was trying to get around boxes and stuff. I was digging in this one box, and I came across a picture of this girl who acted in a movie about the real result. And you know, you're an aficionado for exotic girls and stuff. You know, and this picture was beautiful. And I had to have it, and I just asked her if I could have it. She said, yes. She was surprised that somebody knew the picture. Anyway, I said I could put this on my wall. So I took it and I put it on the wall next to a poster. And it was, you know, right behind the lamp, but you could see it when you walked in the room. And so, you know, that night I went to bed, woke up the next morning.
I don't know. I was going to guess she came to you in the night.
Well, let me finish.
Let
me finish.
All right.
It totally blew me away. I was getting up out of bed, and the lamp was still on. And there was a reflection on the TV, on the dark TV screen. And the reflection was about 6 inches by 6 inches. And it was some mad panther. A devious looking smile. It wasn't me. It was coming from the wall where I placed this picture of the girl that played Marie LaBelle. And I just really put the picture in a certain way with her poster behind it and whatnot. This mad image came out on the screen of the TV. It was just a reflection. And I said, my God, what is that, you know? And I got up and it disappeared. You know? I said, man, this is strange. And I turned the lamp off and there was no reflection in there. And so that night, same thing. You know, I got the lamp on, I turn off the TV, and the reflection comes back. With this mad looking person, devious looking face. I'm going, man, this is crazy, you know? And what I did was, eventually, I just moved the picture to another spot, and the thing went away.
Well, I guess one could conclude that you were getting just sort of a distorted reflection of her in the television. Or it may be the reflection of her in any other object would be a creature that you would not want to meet in the middle of the night. I really thought your story was going somewhere else. I thought perhaps in the morning you would have awakened with the need for a cigarette, so you don't even smoke or something like that. In other words, she came to you in the midst of the night. But no. East of the Rockies, you're on the air on Ghost to Ghost AM. Hello.
How you doing, Art?
Just fine.
I'm from Gulfport, Florida.
Gulfport, Florida. Okay.
Yeah. All the way across the continent from you.
Yes. It's a little continent, though, man.
Well, that's true, especially nowadays.
Yes.
I wanted to tell you about something that happened in about 1977, 1978.
First person to you?
To me.
Okay.
At the time, I was working, here at Airport. I was working security there, my first job. And I was living in Chicago with 4 other roommates, all guys. That way we didn't have to worry about, doing laundry and stuff. Everybody's stuff was all over the place and we didn't give a care. So, I worked late night.
Communal trash.
Yeah, basically.
I think I got the picture.
Typical bachelor pad, I worked late nights predominantly. But one night, it was Halloween night, like I said, 77 or 78. I worked in the evening, 4 to 12. And when I got home, these guys, the other 3 guys had been sort of dabbling in the occult. They'd gotten a bunch of books on demonology and stuff.
Oh my.
Yeah, I'm not really that...
you weren't worried about ending up on a sacrifice altar some night with the 3 of them staring at you?
No, not really.
All right.
These guys were a little bit nuts, but they weren't that bad.
Mm-hmm.
I think I would like to think that I was...
What is your first name?
Eric.
Eric, they would be looking down at you saying, Eric, we gave you every opportunity to join us. we really wish you had. But now we need you for a higher purpose. And then there would be this long, jagged, twisted knife. You know how that goes.
Oh, yeah.
And at any rate, this is no sacrifice. Yeah, that's right. So none of that was true.
No, none of that. But I came home and I found that they'd gone into the basement. Now, this was a big, long apartment building, 2 blocks long. It was a zigzag architecture, sort of like an L-shaped pattern. And in our section of the building, we had exclusive use of the basement. And I came home and I looked around and I didn't see him anywhere, and I happened to notice that one of their books was out on the table. So I went down looking for him in the basement, and they'd gone ahead and protected a circle of sanctified sand, and yes, they had the pentacle on the inside of the circle of sand. And one of the guys was doing some sort of a summoning, attempting to summon a demon.
Yes.
And like I said, I'm not exactly the most believing individual in the world. I've got my own religious beliefs. The demonology and that, I
was okay. Here they were trying to summon up something with big teeth in.
And right in the middle of it, I made the comment, if there is a devil, give us a sign.
That makes you part of it, you know.
Well, yeah, I guess so, but at the same time, I was being a sarcastic little schnuck.
Peer pressure, I guess.
Well, no, I was being sarcastic.
So you said, fine, if there's a devil, let's have a sign, and what happened?
Well, inside the basement, far corner, footlocker. Okay, old World War I wooden footlocker.
Right.
And inside that footlocker was a radio. Funny, you'd mentioned transistor radio earlier.
Right.
This was a transistor radio. It had been in a fire. One of the other guys, it had been his brother's, he stuck it inside the footlocker after it had burned. Why, I don't know, but he did. And it was one of those things where the footlocker itself was damaged. Nobody could get into it without destroying it because his younger brother had gone ahead and pulled a practical joke on him and stuck some super glue in there.
Yep, that'll do it. All right, so we've got to get to the punchline here.
The key had broken off. Nobody could get in. Right. That radio had not worked in I don't know how long. Immediately after I said, give us a sign,
Yes.
that radio started playing. She is a devil woman with evil on her mind.
It started playing that.
That's correct.
Do you understand the implications of that for your soul? That's a very nice laugh you have, but I'm being very serious. Do you
No, I understand what you're saying.
Are you ready for the ride?
There won't be. There won't be. I know where I'm going.
Do you? Have you ever been in an elevator in like a 50 or 60 story building and you press the down thing and it's like you lose some of your weight and you can feel yourself lighting up as it goes down?
Oh yeah.
Well, that's nothing compared to the ride you're going to take.
Well, maybe.
Just having fun with you. But that is not good. You do not, particularly in the situation of a circle of safety, protection, a pentagram, 3 other guys, ask for a sign from the devil, and then obviously get one, and not be somewhat concerned about your ultimate destination. And it won't be on L1011. West of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hello.
Hello, Art. How are you?
I'm fine.
I'm really glad you took this call. I want to tell you something that happened to me about 23 years ago.
Where are you now?
Okay, this is Lady at Kinnick. I'm in Kinnick, Alaska.
Oh, no kidding. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And this happened back when I wasn't living right. And,
You mean you were
I was not living right.
living a little on the wild side, fast lane, that kind of thing?
Yeah, it was worse than that. Anyway, it was down in Fort Lauderdale, down from the Broward General Hospital. There was this house, and they went and they turned it into a haunted house. And it had like all these exhibits and booths and
Oh, you
everything.
mean like a commercial one?
Yeah, it was a commercial one. Well, what had happened is, my father was killed on Thanksgiving Day before I was born. And I wasn't born until 3 days after Christmas. So
Killed as in murdered?
no, he went in an airplane crash.
Okay.
And they didn't find his body till I was like 6 months old.
Right.
And my auntie, who was very psychic, on my mother's side of the bloodline, that's their problem. And there was this pair of wooden shoes that he had brought back from when he was in the military, and he gave them to my auntie, and she had them in this, like a china closet where my uncle had gone all over the world and collected all these things, and I always wanted them wooden shoes. And she passed over, and the shoes came to me, and I had them, I was living in this apartment, and there was a television set that had not worked in years. And I went and had a bedspread put over it, and I had this big mirror to where you kind of see yourself laying on the bed. Like I said, I wasn't living right back in the days.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I know.
Anyway, yes.
Anyway, what had happened is I went to this haunted house exhibit,
And the very last exhibit, before you go out the door, there was this plaster of Paris skull. And it looked really, really real. And I reached over and I grabbed it. And I put it in this big handbag I had. And I booked out with it. And I hadn't had this thing for a couple of months. I moved to this apartment. I took the skull and I had it on top of this old TV, which had not been used in years. There was no plugs on the wall. I just had it like a table. I guess you could call it an altar.
My mama told me to be careful about ships that carry skulls.
Oh man, it gets worse. And I had
Her son-in-law and wife called and stayed at our house. They were living in the other house. And looking for something in the house. And this guy was a CIA analyst. I mean, we're talking, black sheep guy. And after my mother, her sister died, about 10 seconds. Okay, she took care of her sister, her niece, and Clover. And her niece only spent one night in the house, and then she would not spend another night in town.
Yet another haunted house. I guess the party was canceled. Ghost stories from the high desert. This is Ghost to Ghost.
several years while I was in the bar, anybody in it that was in there heard noises. We had secured locked doors. Every once in a while, the door would open, the alarms would go off. We all got very used to it and decided this was the man who had been crushed, and we named him George because we didn't know, what his name was. And he was kind of mischievous, but he never really did anything bad. Upstairs in the building is a huge hall where they hold bingo and convention dinners. On a Thursday night, I was sitting guard, and the post commander and vice commander were upstairs setting up the hall for a convention dinner for the next night. And they had all the chairs and tables nicely arranged, everything done. And about 11 p.m. they came downstairs to the bar, and I was closing things down. They sat down to have a beer, and we heard a lot of taking noises upstairs. We went back upstairs, and a few of the chairs had been moved. And they got going within the building. They looked all around, didn't find anybody. We were back downstairs. I was almost finished closing out, and it was like thunder scraping, and it was just horrendous noise. This time, the post commander went up the stairs from inside the building. The vice commander went outside the building up the fire escape, just in case the rest of the day trying to get out. When they got up there, all of the tables had been moved, all of the chairs. The field chairs that had been in a storage room, which also was locked, were in the middle of the room. They came back, they had just played a case. Sure. And we didn't do anything pretty in any way. Lots of buildings left. Yeah, so in the morning, they came back to rearrange everything. It was all fixed.
It was all rearranged.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me something.
Mm-hmm.
This is just sort of a what if. But if you died and you found yourself trapped here on Earth as a spirit, in other words, you could move about and do what you wanted to do, but nobody would see you, nor sense you, nor feel you, nor have any chance of knowing that you're even there, save an occasional rattle or something. In other words, you could be a ghost, or you could be a spirit, or you could... What would you do?
Oh, boy.
You're on Earth, you're a spirit, you're among the living, but you're not. What would you do?
That's really hard. First of all, I don't think I'd want to do that.
Oh, no, I didn't ask you, but I didn't ask you what you wanted to be. I said if that was the case.
I think I would like to be the fly on the wall in the White House.
Good for you, all right for you. That's a good one. Any of the rest of you would like to consider that might be so. If you in effect woke up dead and found yourself surrounded by the living, but utterly invisible to them, unable to affect their actions, what would you do? Her answer was a pretty good one. Be the fly on the wall at the White House. But even that, I suppose, would be boring after a while. East of the Rockies, you're on the air on Ghost to Ghost AM. Hello.
Good morning, Art.
Good morning. Where are you?
Well, Elvis says hi.
Elvis says Memphis, huh?
Uh-huh.
All right.
By the way, my wife is very jealous. She says that she spends more nights with me than she does, which I'm a truck driver and I listen to you all the time. But getting down to brass tacks, it seems as though I've been a magnet all my life for, I don't know, supernatural experiences or whatever.
We'll be all right. Just keep your hand off my knee.
I won't touch it, I promise. I keep my hands on the wheel of the traffic most of the time anyway. Except for the occasional times that I doze out.
It's funny you should mention that because that does happen to a lot of truck drivers, doesn't it? And they, even when they don't crash, they fall asleep and they wake up and there they are, still going down the road.
Well, you have mind lapses, which is like, I don't know if you really go to sleep, but
you're sort of hypnotized, right?
You lose whole towns, like states. towns, pieces of highway. And
I drive a little Geo Metro. And it's just, us Metro people really like hearing that about the giant 18-wheeler. Anyway, go ahead with your story.
Okay, when I was 12 years old, my father died. And I was born and raised in a very rural area. And we were very, very poor. And I had wondered, after my father died, how we were going to do things. He was 67 years old when I was born, so that would be somebody of his age. And Dad always wore overalls and, A-type undershirts.
Oh, yes.
And he always wore a felt hat and smoked inside cigarettes. And I woke up one night, which, a lot of people say that it was, due to the fact that my father had passed away and all this, and I was wide awake. And my father was standing at the foot of the bed and he always called me Bubba. And he said, Bubba, he said, don't worry about it. He said, everything will be all right. And ever since that time, I've never felt really scared of being around certain things. But I had rented a house in the northeastern part of Memphis. This has been about 4 or 5 years ago. And I would be gone for anywhere from a week to 2 weeks, and I'd come back home and he'd tell me about these strange things that happened in the house while I was gone. And I came home one time and he was gone. He was gone. He decided to leave. So I was at the house for, I reckon, a month or two by myself. And I was dating a woman that had a key to the house. I was in the shower one night, taking a shower. The door's locked. There's burglar bars on the windows. There's burglar bars on the doors.
Right.
All the doors are locked. I'm in the shower, taking a shower. And the light switch goes on and off. And I figured, okay,
she's in the apartment. That's right.
Right, she's going to come over, try to scare him because, I've heard certain things and felt certain things in the house. And I got out of the shower and dried off, just kind of casually walked through the living room and looked around and wasn't anybody there. And there was a time when, in the springtime, I had windows that I would open and draw the curtains back and use a ceiling fan. And I woke up one morning about 1:32, which is nothing unusual when I was home, and a little cigarette was sitting there smoking, or laying there, and I felt somebody sit down on the bed. It was a water bed. And there's a mirrored headboard.
Yes.
So I looked at the headboard, because I'm kind of curious, because I'm the only one there. And there's no one there. But you can feel the bed move. We're talking about full motion mattress.
Oh, I know. You can feel the displacement of the water. There would be no doubt about the fact that something was on the bed.
Like there's lumps where there wasn't lumps before, And like I said, this ghost or spirit, whatever you choose to call it, had never shown any signs of, being aggressive or whatever. And I sit there and finish smoking my cigarette, and I said, look, either get up or lay down. I'm going to tell you, but I need to get some rest, okay? Just do whatever you got to do.
Now, that's hard to believe. You have something on your waterbed, and you're telling it, look, either get up or lay down, because I'm going to sleep. How could you do that?
Well, the thing is, this we heard things. I sit there and played hide and seek with it one night.
I guess people react very differently to these things.
Like I said, ever since my father had passed away and I had seen him, I have never felt as though they were bad. Now, of course, I've never had knives fly through the air or, wake up with my head and, under a guillotine and things like that either, but I have never really felt
that they were bad.
It's always been, like, okay, they're here, I'm here.
Anyway, what happened?
Well, I felt the bed move again. I put the cigarette out, and I slept with one foot out from underneath the sheets. And I, got my nest made, and I'm laying there, just going off in the dreamland, and something reached down and grabbed my ankle and shook it like, okay, I'm up, but, I've had the last say. But these were things that, not only I experienced, but the lady that I was dating experienced. My roommate, as a matter of fact, he still lives in the house, which I've moved out of. Since gotten married, and my wife was sitting at the computer one night playing solitaire, and
it's still going on every day.
yeah, our daughter was laying on the bed, laying on the floor. She'd had an overnight friend come over. My wife was sitting there on the computer, playing on the computer, and she kept hearing my daughter say, "We're going to leave my foot alone." And she thought this...
You got a ghost with a foot fetish.
I think that's what it is.
That's great. I just can't imagine. I just can't. I don't know if I believe that. I don't know if I believe that. Now, I realize people react differently to different things. I've got a water bed. It's not pretty close, it's baffled, but I'll tell you right now that if something jumped on, sat on, laid next to me on the waterbed, there is no way in hell that I'm going to sleep. No way I'm going to sleep. And then it grabs his ankle and he's still going to sleep. I can't buy that. Even for books, I can't buy that. There's just no way. There's no way. An unseen force grabs your ankle on a wet and you're gonna go back to sleep. I don't think so. West of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hello.
I'm doing all right.
I'm doing all right.
Yeah, I got you. I can't believe it. Great, man. This just happened to me the other night.
Hey, man. All right, where are you?
I'm out of Paso Robles, California.
All right.
KPRO.
What happened?
You were talking the other night about a door slamming or, strange noise.
A big bang on my door, yes.
Yeah, What time was that approximately, you think? Was it 12:30, 1:30 over there in Nevada?
It seems to me it was like between 12:30 and 1, but I don't remember precisely. It scared the hell out of me.
That night, something happened to me. I was in my shop. I like to work on rocks and jewelry and stuff, when I'm off in the evening. Sure, I like listening to you once in a while.
Sure.
And I was listening, and you said something about that. And all of a sudden, I heard a thump. I mean, it must have been like after midnight, because that would be Halloween.
That's right. That's right. It was all Halloween Eve. That's right.
And I heard it creaking, and the lights kind of were starting to like a power surge or something.
Yes.
And I look to my right, and here is this object that is just hanging by its neck, and it's stretched out about a foot long.
What?
Yeah.
And when you said it, you mean like a being?
It was hanging there looking at me, watching me. I felt this.
Like a human or what?
Yes, it was. Yes. It was an old man.
An old man, and his neck was stretched out.
Yes. And I mean, I looked at him and I said, I don't mind hanging around or with you or whatever, but you know what? It's your pad. Just leave me alone and you can hang around all you want.
All right. Well, I find that as hard to believe that the guy who went to sleep would be something or another in his waterbed grabbing his ankle. I saw a man's head stretched out, old man's head stretched out in front of me, hanging in midair. I'm out of there. From the high desert, this is Ghost to Ghost Air. I do have one thing that I feel I should read you. I have received, over the last couple of days, countless communications from police officers and those kinds of people, and most of them beg me not to read them on the air because they would be identified. Here's one who will allow me at least to read it. It reads, Dear Art, I thought I'd take a second to send you a fax concerning several ghost sightings in our area. I am a border control agent who wishes to remain nameless, of course, as my career might be adversely affected. During the past few years, we've had the misfortune of losing two of our agents in the line of duty. In both circumstances, they died by falling off cliffs in our area here in San Diego. In the same locations, several illegal aliens have also died trying to enter the U.S. One night I was working in the same area where one of our agents died. It was during the middle of the night. A thick fog was beginning to cover the valley floor and moved toward my location. When the fog came and surrounded my area, a feeling of dread came over me and I began to get very uneasy. As I was preparing to leave the area, I saw what I can only describe as several shadowy figures running through the fog, being trailed by another about 25 yards behind it. I immediately called to other officers to see if anyone was pursuing these aliens. I didn't get any answer, so I moved toward the area where I had seen these figures and began to check the area for the presence of aliens. I knew they couldn't have gone far as there were cliffs on three sides of me, and I was covering the only direction out. I searched the ground, found the tracks, and followed them to the edge of the cliff. The footprints stopped at the edge, and not seeing any others in any other direction, I proceeded to the bottom of the canyon, expecting to find the worst. After I went to the bottom, I couldn't find any sign or presence of anyone. I believe what I saw was the spiritual remnants of those lost souls. I know that this is probably the case, as others have told me they've seen similar things. Thanks for your time, and please don't use my name on the radio. Okay, I shall not, though you did give it to me, so there you are. Another case of apparently this endless hate loop business as it regards spirits. You can easily imagine that border agents or aliens who have literally run off a cliff would experience a quick, violent, horrible death, and that somehow that death would be repeated endlessly in this horrid little hate loop that appears to accompany some spirit presence. Quite a story, and one of just many that I get from law enforcement. First time caller line, you're on the air. Good morning.
Hello?
Hi.
Hi, I'm Connie from Redding, California.
Hello, Connie.
Hi. Am I on right now?
You better be, or we're in trouble.
Okay. Well, I moved in with my boyfriend and his grandfather, as he was living with his grandfather before in the house. His grandfather died on the couch in the front room. Well, I moved in with my daughter at the time. She was about 11 years old. And she's been here a while. And she was sleeping in the bedroom, which the open door to it, and her bed would be, where she's lying as she sat up. She could see into the front room. And Grandpa always, we still had some of the furniture, from them. And he had a recliner chair, and I rearranged it anyway. It was sitting to where she sat up in bed. You could see right to it. Anyway, she'd never met Grandpa. And I've never met him. The next day, I get up and she says, Mama, I had a bad dream last night. And I said, you did? And why didn't you wake me up? And she said, well, because I sat up and I was scared. I sat up and looked up and there was an old man in the chair. And he said, it's okay, honey. And he was from Arkansas. And he said, it's okay, honey. Go back to sleep. And I said, what? And I said, Joe, that's my boyfriend. I said, come here, listen to this. And so she explained it to him. And so he said, well, what did he look like, then? And she described him to a T because he wore sweats all the time because he had lost a leg, and it was easy for him to wear and he was old. And she described his gray sweatsuit and described his look to a T. She didn't feel scared of it. And, we thought that was weird, but I'd never gotten their feelings of any of this.
Sure.
That other guy told you earlier.
Yes.
And
I find that just incredible.
Well, I know. I don't know how to really explain it. like that guy that now someone sat on the bed like that, you know.
Or grab your head.
Grab or something.
Come on, folks.
That would freak me out, I'm sure.
Would you go to sleep?
No.
No.
That's why I told her, I thought it was so weird and she explained it. Well, then one night, I don't know how far in between, within this thing, 6 months a year. Nobody was home. I was pregnant, so I went to sleep, took a nap. And I woke up, because I knew everybody was gone for the day. And I woke up, and that reclining chair, Grandpa's chair, was one of the kind where if you want the foot thing to come up,
Sure.
you have to grab. Well, no, it doesn't come up by leaning back. You have to grab that wooden handle on the side of your chair.
I know the type.
Right, and it makes the noise, right?
Yes.
And I wake up to hearing that noise up, and it's going down,
Yeah.
up and down.
Oh,
And I
no.
thought, and I got up, everything was the same, nobody's been home, and there's a chair set, it's fine. But I still, honestly, you know, I knew that's what I heard. I mean, I wasn't dreaming, I was wide awake, but I didn't fear to have scary things. I just thought, that's okay.
All right, here's the question for you that I asked another young lady a little while ago. I thought a good one tonight. If you were to wake up tomorrow, dead, you wouldn't realize it right away. But soon, quickly, you would realize nobody sees you. Your body's lying dead on the bed. You died in your sleep. You're walking around. You're still on Earth. You can see everybody else. They can't see you. You can't touch them. You can't affect them. Except perhaps in some minor haunting way.
Right.
You know, just the way we
Like
do
so
it.
when you asked the lady that was a bartender,
My question is, what would you...
I was hoping you'd ask me that. I was going to add to that.
Yes.
You know what I would do? It's similar to what the guy did. The lady that was the bartender story, about 3 stories before mine.
Right.
The way he moved the furniture, and they all left. And the next day, when they came back, it was put back. Some way of making a point, but not to really scare anybody, to let them know I was there.
That it was you.
Yeah, you know what I mean? In some kind of way. Just because it would be frustrating not to be able to, you know.
All right. You have then answered the $64 million question. We get so many stories about people who have done exactly that. That's why I thought I would ask, because it is the logical thing that a spirit here on Earth would do. Try to find some way to assure those who are left behind who would know the signs that it's them.
Yeah, just some, I mean, it doesn't have to be evil or anything, just to let them know. You know, no, it's not something in that, no, it was, you know, there's something.
I appreciate your call. Hey, you see what I mean, folks? When you reverse the question and you apply it to yourself, now you understand why we get the stories we get. Now, granted, there are other classes of very evil residents, poltergeist activity and worse. But in the majority of so-called ghost stories, it's dear departed ones that are leaving some sort of sign that indicates to the person receiving it beyond any shadow of a doubt that they are present. So you try and answer the question yourself. If you literally woke up dead, found yourself unable to affect things in any real material way, what would you do? Because the answer tells you why we're getting the kinds of stories we're getting right now. Wildfire Line, you're on the air.
Good morning.
Good morning to you. Where are you?
I'm in North Louisiana. I'm a truck driver who lives in Gun Springs,
All right.
Louisiana.
All right, good.
This is kind of an ongoing story here. It started when I was 15. First started dating my wife. We lived in a roundhouse. The ceilings didn't go all the way up to the roof.
Uh-huh.
She was in my bedroom. I was in the living room.
I've seen round houses. They're neat.
Yeah, we had one in the Gulf Coast, but it was a round fiberglass house.
Uh-huh.
And she was in the bedroom, and she kept saying, well, stop that, stop that. And then she turned around, and when I seen her from the living room, she kind of got scared. I said, what's wrong? She said, well, something was hitting me. Something up in my leg.
Mm-hmm.
So that went on a couple times in that bedroom, in that house. I told her that was just Charlie, our ghost. I named him Charlie. And we got married.
It didn't upset you that Charlie was messing with your wife's legs?
we wasn't married yet.
I see.
But we got married, we moved out, went into one trailer, and nothing happened. The second trailer we moved in, he came back. Moved things around, we tied things, and he bumped both of us. And then we moved out of that trailer. We were living in New Orleans at the time. And we moved to where I'm at now.
But didn't it occur to you that Charlie was not in one place, but rather was with you?
That's what we've done figured out. He must be following me.
This took several moves, though, for you to
Right.
figure out.
And we're in, like I said, we're in Dunn Springs now. I've been here 5 years. About the last 2 years, he's been showed up again.
So you got Charlie back again.
I got him back. I got an 11-year-old daughter now.
Was this your wife's first marriage?
Yeah.
She never had any old boyfriends named Charlie?
That's just the name I picked out of the air. I just get where he got it from.
All right.
It's a TV program. But I have an 11-year-old daughter now. I found out today, that's why I called you, is, let's see, what I found out Friday. Tuesday night, she was taking a bath, my daughter, and something grabbed her on the shoulder, and actually left a mark on her shoulder.
Oh, my.
And we told her that, it must have been Charlie. That's all we could figure out. And my wife also told me last week that her and my daughter were sleeping in my bedroom, at night. And she woke up, there's a nightlight in the living room that shines through the doorway.
Yes.
And she saw a figure there. And the dogs were in the bedroom. And she woke up, I didn't say anything. The cat went running to the other room. And she said the figure just kind of went off. She went looking through the house and couldn't find anything. Apparently Charlie's back again. And I don't know.
How do you feel about this? I mean, is it something you're willing to put up with, or do you want Charlie to move on?
Well, he doesn't really bother us. I kind of get a kick out of it. He gets a little annoying every now and then when he moves stuff and you can't find it. The only thing I'm worried about is the scratch on my daughter's shoulder. I hope he doesn't get a little more physical like they had that one on the television program.
Yes, indeed. All right. Well, good luck to you. And, of course, if it gets too bad, you're going to need to consult an exorcist. Now, there's a big dividing line between a little caress on the leg or a push and something that begins to leave marks. When it leaves marks, then you need to begin to think about professional assistance in the form of a priest, an exorcist, something. Because perhaps like the lion that gets a taste for human beings, it doesn't get better. It gets worse, and you've got to eliminate that lion before it gets you. East of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hello. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't just stop there. East of the Rockies, now you're on the air. Hello.
Joy from Wisconsin, Wisconsin.
Hello, Joy.
My husband and I and our 2 little kids lived in a house, an old farmhouse. And there were so many things that happened in this house. One of them was I was sitting on the couch one night, and from out in the kitchen, a voice said, just as clear as day, "Hi, Joy." I left. I left that night.
Now, see, that says something.
I had just a little boy at the time, and we left. My husband drives truck at night, and we went to the yard and met him. And one of the other things that happened was above the stove, there's a range hood with a light on it.
Yes, sir, of course.
I used to leave that on at night for a night light. And I'd turn it off in the morning, and for a month, every night when I'd go to turn it back on, I'd have to see the light bulb back in. My husband, I think, thought I was nuts until he was home one night and I had to do it. We never turned the fan on, so it somehow unloosened by itself. One other night, I was sitting in the living room and I had emptied all the trash bags into one big garbage bag, and no windows were open, and the bag moved and you could smell perfume. Now the big thing is, in January of '96, we had a fire in the house. And we called the fire department, 7:30 in the morning, got everybody out, called the fire department.
Only got a few seconds left.
Okay, first fireman that came out said you're going to lose your house totally. Everything is going to be gone. We got nervous. Firemen started coming out, and they saved everything. All that burned was the furnace. The furnace was a tan color. In the furnace, after my husband and I went down there is a face burnt perfectly into the furnace.
Oh.
We took pictures of it. It looks just, you can see the eyes.
If you have photographs of that, send them to me.
How do I get them to you?
All right, you listen after the break and I'll give my address, but I really want those photographs.
And I will get them to you.
All right, so then you get a paper and a pencil, and after the break I'll give my address, okay?
Okay.
Thanks for the call. A face in the furnace. We'll be right back. Earlier, I asked the general audience, a couple of callers, but the general audience, what would you do if you, in effect, woke up one morning dead? Single, married, wouldn't matter. Family nearby, no, wouldn't matter. You wake up, you get up, and you realize as the day wears on, nobody can see you. You're not part of what's happening anymore, only you're still there. You're dead, but you're here on Earth. What would you do? It's a very, very intriguing question that leads to all kinds of conclusions about what you hear when you hear those stories. Well, here's another answer. I would look for one of those pretty teenage girls, preferably Scandinavian or Hawaiian, and just kind of hang around with her.
Then I looked at something and called.
Oh boy.
And the woman.
And there she was.
There she was. Now, before was completed the day before I was married. All my relatives were visiting the house, and my aunt in Wisconsin, I told her this is the same story. And she said, do you know why? She didn't say anything. And I said, no. She said, she had a lot of grandchildren, 13 children. And she said she couldn't make any sound because she was dying at that point. And cancer had taken her throat. The only thing she could do was tickle her children, and she couldn't stand to hear her grandchildren cry.
Oh boy.
All she could do was tickle them under the chin and make a cooing sound. And that's it.
Now see, that story bothers me for a lot of reasons. Thank you, and I'll tell you why. In my own mind, and we discussed this with Brad the other night, Brad Steiger, in some detail, I prefer to think of ghosts or a spirit as a sort of weak shadows of their former selves, not really the spirit, not really the soul of the dearly departed, but rather sort of an echo that repeats perhaps endlessly, but is not really a trapped soul on Earth. But what that man just described, and what many others described, is proactive in the sense that it's not a tape loop, and it would indicate that souls really do remain on Earth. And in a lot of ways, no matter how interesting you think it might be, to be trapped on Earth eternally, able to roam, able to do what you want, might temporarily sound kind of neat. But in fact, it would be a living hell. So I don't want really to think that spirits, souls, are trapped here on Earth. Why? Because, of course, I could become one of them. So could you. So as you listen to these ghost stories, the easier ones are the ones that sort of would show a repetitive action, like from the Border Patrol officer that I read earlier. Not the ones like the ones you just heard. A wildfire line, you're on the air. Hi. Hello there. Hello. Yes, hello.
Oh, you're talking to me?
Yes, I am.
Oh, terrific. I just heard a slight beep, and that was it.
I heard a beep too. Where are you?
I'm calling from Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada.
BC, all right.
Yeah, thank you. Anyway, it's great show. I like that last story because I like to think that spirits are wherever, heaven, whatever, but they can transcend whatever time.
You mean have to come back down?
Sure, yeah.
Transition and everything.
Right.
That'd be all right.
That would be better to think.
It's getting stuff here that I'm...
That's right. Yeah, that would be awful. I have two ghost stories. My first one.
But I can only allow one.
That's fine, yeah. I can certainly miss it. My brother and I both saw it. I was about 4 or 5. My brother's 2.5 years older than me. We came to town on activity. We went with him and to visit our, I guess, godparents. And we'd been watching TV upstairs in the house. Our parents and their parents, like their kids, were playing snacks in the kitchen. And at that time, 10 o'clock came around, all the good shows were over and all the news came on. So kids weren't interested in that. We decided to go see what our cousin was doing. We called him cousins downstairs. He had a bedroom in the basement. It was an unfinished basement, basically just a rectangle in the house with just 2 walls built into the corner to make his room an absolutely bare open basement. So we go through the kitchen where his parents were playing and had to go down these steps to go down the basement, and we go past them and down the steps. We halfway around. We look across to where his room is, and there's a ghost, a white shadowy type that you can see through, transparent and all that, just like Ghostbusters. And he's spying on our cousin. We could see through him. He's a young guy, I'd say now, I'm thinking about it, in his late 20s.
Do you think he knew that you could see him?
No, this is how light gets good, exactly. There's more to this stuff. So we see a ghost. You can see he's wearing a suit. He's got, a loose style, like old style suit, like 40s or whatever.
Sure.
And he's peering around a door frame. The door frame was entering into the room as if, he didn't want to be seen, right? Peeking around like a human would.
Sure.
You could see the door frame through him. It's just like Ghostbusters. You see details, but it's all white.
Yes.
You can see shades of white, right? Just fancy different things. And we could also see part of the dartboard that his left shoulder was covering through him too. And instantly, I was the first one down the steps. I turned to go up the steps. My brother's looking at me now, and we both yell "ghost" at the same time, right? And this thing swung around. We surprised it. And we looked back at the ghost. He swings around now, and he's looking around at us with his big wide eyes like we stared at, right?
Yeah, that's a twist on you.
Yeah. And then so anyways, then he just turns to the very end of the house. He was at one end, and at the other end was a swinging door that went out to a mushroom room that my godparents grew mushrooms, and then out to the backyard to the back alley. Another door went out that way. He just ran for that door, and he just crossed this house in half a second. He went so fast you could see a blur of legs and arms as he was running. He left the white street as tall as he was, right from where he started to where he went out this door. And the door, he didn't go through it. It swung open real quick and shut. And we're like, and that was it. He was done. And we were just about to go back up the steps, and our parents were already at the top of the steps looking down, and I was like, what's going on? And told me the story, and then ran out to the backyard, checked out. I guess they assumed it was a burglar that we saw, right?
Sure.
And there was nothing. So, that was it. I scared it didn't scare us. We were pretty calm about it. It was like, wow, neat, after 5 minutes after it happened, right?
Well, it is the first instance I've ever heard of human scaring ghosts, and I like it. It is possible. Who knows what makes a ghost visible? And it is kind of nice to think that occasionally, without their knowledge, they become visible, doing their usually invisible snooping, and we catch them. If you can see my studio cam, I've got this really cool, on the island of Rhodes when we were there. Ramona found this really neat, I don't know what it is, it's like a tube with a hand on it. I guess it's basically a back scratcher, although the hand looks a little eerie. And when you turn the tube over, it makes a weird sound. Hear that? And I was having more fun with this than the cruise. It makes such an obscene little sound. And I will hold this up so that you can see it on the studio cam. Strange. All right, West of the Rockies, you're on the air. Good morning.
Good morning, Aaron. I'm glad I got through. First of all, do you believe that dogs can see ghosts?
I have a feeling that dogs and cats and animals in general see things that we don't, that move among us. Now, are they ghosts? Yes, maybe. But there's something that they see that we don't. It's obvious. If you watch their behavior, you can tell when they see them.
Well, exactly, and we're having that problem in our house right now.
Oh.
And, well, last December, my wife's ex-husband was killed in a really bad car wreck. And ever since then, we've had a lot of odd things happening, such as our little dog barking at the air and growling.
Well, dogs sometimes bark at the air, but rarely growl. Now, growl indicates presence of something they don't like.
And the other night, I was laying upstairs next to my wife,
Yes.
and I felt a tap on my shoulder. And I looked up, and at the end of my bed, there was a big dark entity there. And this entity was trying to it came to pull my soul out of my body. And it
pulled your soul.
It was trying to pull my soul out.
Listen, can you hold on?
Yeah.
During the break? All right, fine. I'm going to leave you right there. And I keep getting requests to play this, so I shall. This, of course, is Crystal Gale.
happened, it scared the hell out of me. And I'm kind of thinking, well, I'm going to go after I do. And
maybe it scared you out of film.
Well, it seriously scared me very bad. And at the same time, we are taking care of his two children that he left behind. And was born after he had died.
Well, there you are. And it sort of bolsters, thank you, the story that I read about the study they had conducted in England. I just knew it. I mean, I've interviewed so many MBE researchers, and almost universally, they would say, oh, no, these are just rumors, you barely ever hear a report of anybody going to hell. I knew that was wrong. I knew it was wrong. I feel it is wrong. Deep down, inside of me, I know
and to study that phenomenon as they study the other one. So obviously that study is underway. First time caller line, you're on the air. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. How you doing, Art?
All right.
Yeah, I finally bought the book of quickening.
Congratulations.
Upon arrival back home from work, I had to get some milk and candy from the house for Halloween, so I set up the book on the porch table. When I got home, it was gone.
Oh no.
I live alone. The next day, I overheard a neighbor telling another neighbor if he'd heard of Art Bell, damn sure. But,
So he took your book.
I think he did, and I'm bent on revenge now. But I got a story here for you.
All right.
And the story happened in Canyon City, Colorado. I was going to school, the religious school.
Yes.
And every weekend I'd go to the cookie shop a couple miles down the road just for something to do for the sake of diversity. One day in particular, I passed a farm that had a flock of sheep, and I was a little buzzard, was kind of cool. I'd never seen sheep before outside of on the TV. So I observed a sheep standing in the corner of the fenced-in area.
Are you a city boy?
Yeah, I am.
Must be.
And I observed the sheep standing in the corner of the fenced-in area still as a statue while the entirety of the other part of the flock was stuck in the face in a typical sheep-like manner. A couple of days later, I saw the same thing flocked together in a strange statue-like sheep on the other side of the field, not eating. So the next week, the same thing, but this time the rancher was there. So I asked him, why the statue-like sheep was so weird. Did someone clap in the head or something? The darndest sheep, he said, that sheep won't eat in the daytime, only at night. It's bizarre. He said, you can say that again. It's still scared of other, it's also scared of other sheep. As product is product, and that's the concept of that's for sure. So that one night I was coming back from the party, and I was walking by, and I could see a lone sheep, that was the lone sheep eating or chewing in the moonlight. All the other sheep, needless to say, were sleeping, but I couldn't see the sheep put his head down to pull of grass or hay. What's going on here? That was kind of really, it was weird.
You mean it was eating in midair?
Yeah, it was eating in midair. It was totally bizarre. I couldn't understand it. So one evening I had just purchased some night vision goggles on the black market for a tidy price, tidy in the sense that it was cheap. I thought I'd walk by the sheep again that night. I looked through my goggles as I was approaching the sheep to test them out, since it was absolutely dark and there was no moonlight that night to speak of. Looking through the night vision goggles, I had to check my goggles thinking they might be lemmings because of what I was seeing. I tried again, and there it was again. The sheep was stretching out its neck, standing on its hind legs. There, to my absolute amazement, was this neon green image of an upside-down man holding his hand high, apparently hand-feeding the sheep. And around him were other people walking upside down with an occasional neon image of what looked like dogs. Wow! Yeah, this is totally bizarre. I sat there and tried to keep my composure for several minutes until I couldn't help myself. I picked up a rock and threw it at the neon image of the upside-down man feeding the sheep. The rock hit the sheep instead that he was feeding, and the upside-down man stopped abruptly. He looked over my way, apparently spotting me. Yeah. He made some hand gestures to the others that were walking around him, and they all disappeared. When I put the goggles down to start running, I saw several baseball-sized red dots coming at me. I ran as fast as my feet could carry me, somehow lost in hiding in a combine. I stayed there for about 3 hours, with an occasional red dot passing by. After about 3 hours, I got out of the combine and ran like you would not believe back to my dorm in complete terror.
Of course. Moral of this story, never throw stones at ghosts.
And it's true, too, Art.
I appreciate the story, sir. Thank you. What a remarkable story. And so the sheep, only eating at night, fed by spirits, up on its hind legs, reaching as its... Oh, man, what a story. That was great. Wild Card Line, you're on the air. Hello. Hello.
Hi, Art. Hi. I have a ghost story from the journal of my great-grandfather.
All right.
I thought you might find interesting. He was a leader in the early Mormon church in Missouri before they even went out to Utah.
Yes.
And he said that he was riding a horse about 100 yards in front of a group of other men. They were together, but he'd gotten out in front of them. And he was about 6 feet tall. He figured on his full-size horse, his head was about 9
would imagine, sure.
And that's significant because what happened next is this man or this creature approached him out of the bushes and walked up to him. And this creature or this man, it was a man who was covered from head to toe in hair. And when he walked up to him, they were eyeball to eyeball. And this thing was standing on the ground. And this creature identified himself as Cain, Cain and Abel, and said that he had been condemned to walk the earth in misery. He was searching for death as a relief from his misery, but he could not find it. And the man behind him saw that he found someone, but they couldn't see who it was. They were, like I said, when together. And after a short conversation, he just left and wandered away. He said his impressions were this was the most miserable creature he'd ever met, the most unhappy, the saddest and the biggest. And when I read that, it often made me wonder if that is the explanation for some of the Bigfoot sightings, because the description matches. And also the behavior. Bigfoot is huge, but is never threatening anyone, at least in any of the stories I've heard.
Is there any way you could copy that journal and send me a copy?
Yeah, I could do that.
All right, then listen on the air, and this goes for an earlier caller, which I didn't manage to get my address out for. You recall the picture of the face in the oven? Well, hopefully you're still poised with your pencil and paper. And for you, sir, my address, particularly for any unusual photographs or copies of very ancient journals, like the one you just certified, fire it off to me, Art Bell, ARTBELL, just like the one that's there. The address is P.O. Box 4755, 4755, in a town called Pahrump. Not to laugh, as I spell it, that's P as in Paul, AHRUMP, Pahrump, Nevada. And the zip code here, the short way to do Nevada is NB, and the zip code would be 89041-4755. The last thing that you would want to see in a furnace would be a face literally burned into the furnace wall. A human face. East of the Rockies, you're on the air. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning to you. Where are you, please?
I'm in Bridgeport, Connecticut.
Bridgeport. All right, good. Welcome.
And I wanted to tell you a different kind of ghost story.
It's all right.
I think I know a little bit about the fact that I'm eventually going to be a ghost.
You are going to be a ghost.
Yeah. I'm growing up to be a ghost.
Oh, you're quite right. This is a new twist. What makes you think that?
Well, I'm going to try to keep this very tight here. I am a ham radio operator, and of course I know you are.
Yes.
And as you know, we have each of us a call sign.
Correct.
Like a telephone number, got letters and numbers.
Right. It is unique. There is none other to match it in the world, like
Right.
fingerprints, yes.
Exactly. Now, one of the things that, probably every ham, goes through every ham's mind at some point, is somebody might, and they always call it bootlegging, somebody might bootleg call sign.
Sure.
Not usually.
Right.
Somebody might help, might need to take.
Particularly in a way the FCC would frown upon.
That's right. Well, I come home from work every day, and I go to lie down on my day out there, take a nap, and almost every day I have a dream that I was down in my basement at my bench with my hand stuff, and somebody down there using my coffee. And in the dream I feel, this time it's not a dream. This time it's really happening. And about 2 minutes later I'd wake up and there I'd be on the bed knowing darn well that it hadn't happened.
Right.
Well, one day I was talking to a fellow about this over the air as it happened, and I told him about it. He said, oh, it's the psychoanalytic analytical thing. You think you're losing your identity, or you feel threatened, someone's going to shoot you or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cookstone analysis, and all of a sudden, this insight came to me, and I said, I interrupted him. I said, far off, that's not it. I'll tell you what it is. In my dream, I'm dead, and I'm wherever dead people are, quote dead, unquote, and I'm wherever dead people are, and I'm listening to this. I'm hearing the guy using my call sign because it's been reissued.
Now, years after, I forget how long it is, but shortly after your death, a year or 2 or 5 or whatever, they're able then to reissue your call, yes?
Yeah, and that's like giving somebody a telephone number. No. There's no, from that time on, I never had that dream again.
Uh-oh. In other words, that realization stopped the dream, which means it's true, which means it's really going to happen, which means you will be a ghost. Great. Well, 73s.
Okay. 73 to you.
See you later. There's a horrid little ham story for you. He's right. That's a terrifying thought. And that the dream ceased probably means it was resolved, which means it's going to happen, which means he's going to be a ghost. But all good hams go to heaven. Well, except for a few of them on 40 meters. West of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hello.
Hello?
Hello there.
I'm actually on the air. Huh?
You're actually on the air, yes.
Well, hello, my name's Anita.
Anita?
And I'm from Sacramento, California.
All right.
And
Oh, I was on the air in Sacramento earlier today.
Oh, really?
Yes, I was.
Wonderful. You're talking about ghost stories, right?
Oh, yes.
And I was coming home from a Halloween party, and I love listening to your show. And I just had to call because there was not a scary story, but it's a really special story.
Okay.
And what it was is that I'm single and I can't have children. And there's an adoption that I was trying to go through, a private adoption, and it was really a scary procedure because the girl kept going, 1 month yes, 1 month no, and so it was just very difficult, and I was really been pondering and wondering, should I go through with this or not, and I was lying on my sofa one night, I had fallen asleep, and I had, I kind of had woken up a little bit. I wasn't in that phase, that in and out kind of sleep.
Sure.
And it was really strange because I had drifted off again, and I hadn't really been thinking about this too much that night or anything. So it wasn't like I fell asleep with this on my mind, and it was the most incredible feeling. I woke up to a little girl kissing my cheek.
Really?
Yeah, and it was such a physical thing. I could see, and she had pretty long blonde hair, and it was the most loving. It just enveloped my whole body, and it was like, this is my daughter, and she was just wanting to let me know that she loved me and that she appreciated me wanting her so much. And I didn't know whether it was a little girl that I was trying to adopt, or this was a little girl that was waiting for me. And it was just incredible from head to toe feeling, absolute love.
Any resolution to it yet?
Not to that. Unfortunately, that adoption didn't go through, but I'll tell you something. If it was that baby, and she knew how much I had been working towards trying to get her and how much I loved her and wanted her, and it was either a thank you or it was like I said before.
Either that or it was a premonition. Now, when you finally end up adopting, which I bet you will.
Well, someday I hope so.
Yes. If it happens to be the spitting image
of that little girl,
then I'm going to want to get a return call.
You betcha. You betcha. And you know what else?
What else?
I have, I've been looking for that. Have you ever heard of the cremation of San Medina?
You know I have.
Yeah. Well, I have a copy of that, so if you want me to tell
Hey,
you.
that's the Alaskan story, right?
Yes.
But do you know, that story was told to us when we were in Alaska about 2 or 3 months ago.
Oh, are you serious?
Oh, yes, I'm serious. It's a widely told story in Alaska. Do you think you can tell it fairly quickly?
Oh, yes. I have it right here if you want me to repeat it. And it's Halloween.
Oh, yes, go ahead.
Okay, let's see. You want to put me on hold or anything?
No, gotta do it.
Okay. I am. Here it is. Alright. Let me get on the phone.
Call the wild card line. Area 702-727-129. Now you're hitting touchstone. You can't do that.
Oh, no, I accident.
I understand.
Okay. It's called, The Promotion of Sanity. There are strange things done in the midnight sun by the men who moil for gold. The Arctic tribes have a secret tales that would make your blood run cold. The northern lights were seen first sight. For the first they ever did see. The night on the marge of Lake Labarge, I cremated Sam McGee. Now Sam McGee was from Tennessee where the cotton blooms and blows. And he left his home in the South to roam on the pole God only knows. It was always cold, but the land of birds seemed to hold him like a spell. He'd often say in his tiny way that he'd sooner live in hell. On Christmas Day, we were rushing our way over the Dawson Trail. We were cold to the perfect soul that it felt like a driven nail. And our eyes were closed, and our lashes froze, so sometimes we couldn't see. It wasn't much fun, but the only one to whimper was Sam McGee. And that very night, as we lay past night in our roads beneath the snow, and the dogs were fed, the stars overhead were dancing heel and toe. He turned to me, and Cappy said, I'll catch in this ship, I guess. And if I do, I'm asking that you won't refuse my last request. But he seemed so low that I couldn't say no. Then he said with a sort of a moan, it's a cursed cold, and it's got right cold till I'm chilled clean through the bone. Yet pain being dead, it's my awful dread of the icy grave that pains. So I wanted to swear that all I said was too late, my last remains. A pal asked me the thing to eat, so I swore that I would not tell. And we started on at the trick of dawn. I thought he could ghastly tell. He crouched on his sleigh and he raved all day. It was home in Tennessee. And before nightfall, a corpse was all that was left of Sam McGee. There wasn't a breath in that land of death, and I hurried forward, driven. The courthouse hid that I couldn't get rid because of a promise given. It was last Thursday and it seemed to say, you may tax your brain and land on. But you promised to, and it's up to you to commit so blasphemy. I promised made, it's a debt unpaid, and the trial has its own same code. The days are trying to my lips for that sound. My heart, how I cursed that load. In the long, long night, by the lone firelight, by the husky ground in the rain, held out the rose, the homeless nose. Oh God, how I loathed that thing. And every day that quiet place seemed to heavy and heavier grow. And on I went to the dark and the bread was getting low. The show was dead and I felt half mad, but I swore I did not give in. And I dipped, and I'd often seen to that hateful thing, and it hearkened with a grin. So I came to the marge of Lake Labarge, the derelict where lay. It was jammed in the ice, but I saw in a trout. It was called the Alice Bay. And I looked at it, and I thought of this, and I looked at my cousin John. Then here said I, with a sudden cry, it's my crematorium. Some planks I tore from the California with that boiler fire. Some coal I found that was lying around and that fuel up fire. The flames just soared, and the flames roared, such a blaze you seldom see. And I burrowed a hole in the glowing coal, and I stuffed in Sam McGee. And I made a hike, for I didn't like to hear them sizzle, so. And the heavens scowled, and the husky howled, and the wind began to blow. It was icy cold, but the hot sweat rolled down my cheeks, and I don't know why.
Hold it right there.
Bucky and
Leaving the room, is that okay?
well, I guess it's an option.
Sure.
All right. So anyway, what have you for us?
Well, I was hoping you can help me with something. When I was 17, that's before I went to the military, I went to visit my grandfather, 85, and I was asleep in my uncle's room. It was pitch black because he was on the mountainside. He had the windows boarded up and the rocks by the room. And I woke up tingling all over. A tingling sensation.
Yeah.
And it woke me up. And I noticed something at the foot of my bed.
What?
Well, at first I thought it was a coat hanging on the oak tree there. And the more I looked, the clearer it got. And it was a person, and it was white. And the clothes it had hung just like drapes there. And I started making out hair, and I couldn't tell if it was male or female. Yeah. And when I finally realized it was really something at the foot of my bed, it was like a side view, I raised up and I said, "Who the hell are you?" And it turned, and it looked at me just like it pierced and right through me with its eyes. Yes. And, well, it didn't scare me a bit. I thought, well, how about that? And I laid back down, and I got up the next morning, and I tried to tell my grandfather about it, and he got mad. He said, "Boy, you trying to tell me my house is haunted and left the breakfast table." Well, I went down to my aunt, and I told her she'd buried her before me. And she said, "Oh, if you ever see anything like that again, in the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Ghost, be gone. What do you want?" And they were talking.
Well, look, I hate to cast the shadow of skepticism on your story, but I refuse to believe that anybody would see a ghost, a spirit, a presence at the foot of their bed, and then would turn around and go to sleep. I refuse to believe that. Now, that may be my own prejudice, I fully admit. But in my case, to see such a thing, to go to sleep, give me a break. The thing I would more likely do to the bed is to wet it. I mean, that would just scare the heck out of me. And I sure as heck wouldn't go to sleep. Now, I have talked to no less than 3 or 4 people tonight who have had their ankles pulled and have had presences on the bed with them. And in each case, they have said, "I went to sleep." I just can't buy it. Now, you think about it. You people have had some even little thing happen to you, like the big bang on my door the other night. It's still bothering me. And at the time that it occurred, I had an adrenaline rush that could only be compared with, perhaps encountering a burglar or coming to blows with somebody who's breaking in or something like that. And so I find it just totally beyond the realm that anybody would have their ankle yanked on or some apparition at the foot of their bed and go, to sort of slide off to sleep. I have a really hard time with that. First time caller line, you're on the air. Dixie in Houston, hello there.
Hey, this is a story that my mother always told about Fort Washington, which was, I guess, frontier fort, just north of the Red River in central Oklahoma.
Yes.
And the story went that an officer caught his wife in a compromising situation with another officer. And he beheaded both of them with his saber. And the story from that day on, that if you rode your horse through that area at night, Aunt Jane, which was the officer's wife, rode on the back of your horse with you through the area where the fort was. Very few people would get out and ride.
With or without a head?
Without a head.
Naturally.
I appreciate Straw Man and his story, and I have always rather disliked headless stories, but they proliferate in the world of ghost stories, headless stories. Bodies without heads. Wildcard Line, you're on the air. Good morning.
Yeah, I have a book having to do with near-death experiences.
You do.
Yes, I do. It was written by a physician who's not particularly religious, but he had to recount what happened when he would have surgeries on his patients, and they'd come back, in some cases, absolutely screaming in terror.
What is the name of this physician?
The name of the physician is Dr. Maurice S. Rawlings, R-A-W-L-I-N-G-S.
I'm indeed familiar with Dr. Rawlings. I think, though, that book was written pretty much from a religious perspective.
Yeah, it might be. It's called To Hell and Back.
Yes, that's right. Yes, I know about it. It's written pretty much from a religious perspective. Now, I find very interesting the fact that the legitimate mainstream science in Britain is going to begin studying NDEs that apparently resulted in people going to a place that we would think of as hell. And I'm looking forward to the result of that study.
So what you're saying is that's going to be objective. At the same time, we've got to think that Dr. Rawlings, who said he was near atheist when he started these, may have been scared into becoming a religious person.
Yeah, so it's possible.
Yeah.
I appreciate the call, sir.
Okay.
Yes, I am familiar with that book. But I think a good, objective scientific study, finally, of the phenomena that nobody talks about is definitely in order. And it may be as useful to the religious community to prove there is a hell as to prove there is a heaven. Has that occurred to you? It was kind of interesting the other day when I had, tomorrow night we will repeat the episode with Harlot, Patsy, the devil worshipper. She calls herself a witch, but clearly she worshipped Satan. And in a lot of ways, that program, like a legitimate study of those who have had NDEs that resulted in a hellish experience, really do more for Christianity than they do to hurt it in any way whatsoever. And that was the result. I got so many faxes and so many pieces of email from people who have been so concerned about that show before it ran, but then when they heard it, the end result after the entire program was that those who are religious out there felt it did more for Christianity, terrible as it may have been here, than nearly any other program we've done in a long time that simply would have been in some way pro-Christianity. Interesting results of a program of that sort. And I think a very similar result would be realized by an objective study of those who have died and apparently gone to hell. Close to the Rockies, you're on the air. Hi.
Yes, this is Stu in Phoenix.
Hello, Stu.
Yes, you're familiar with the story of Christine, the 58 women with a bad attitude?
They made a movie about it.
Yes. Well, I'd like to tell you there is a counterpart to that car in Peninsula, Ohio. At least there was 25 years ago.
Really?
Yes, I was driving through there one night about 2:30 in the morning, and a car came from out of the darkness behind me and started tailgating.
Uh-huh.
So he was flashing his lights, blowing his horn.
Yes.
And I tried to let him pass, but he wouldn't. So when I got to the stoplight, I looked in the mirror and I could tell it was a white 61 Chevy following me.
Right.
Well, I knew somebody who had such a car, so I thought it might have been him. Well, when the light turned, I turned left, and the car stayed right behind me. When I got to the next light, I was going to turn right, so I pulled in the right-hand lane. The Chevy pulled up alongside of me. All its windows were open, so I looked over to see who was driving. There was nobody driving. There was nobody in the car.
Now, could you even see far enough down on the driver's side to be sure there was nobody hunkered down?
I was driving an older car which side much higher. And I could see the whole inside of the car. There was nobody in there.
Hey.
And so I burned out of there and got about to 110.25 miles, I think. And I went through a turn, taking my life in my hands, and lost sight of the Chevy partway through the turn. He was still after me. Well, I waited for his lights to reappear, but they never did. So after about a mile or so, I turned around and went back. I checked all up and down that stretch of road.
Now, wait a minute now. You risked your life doing 100 miles an hour to get away from the scene. You turned around and went back.
Yes. Out of curiosity or wondering if somebody had gotten hurt or what. But I looked all up and down that stretch of road. There was no sign that any car had even been on the road. There was no car on the road or off. No skid marks, no tire tracks, nothing. The car vanished.
Well, that's a hell of a story.
And I've heard other people tell of similar encounters with a car of the same description.
However, the part where you went back is equivalent to every horror movie I've ever seen where the girl with the low-cut dress inevitably hears something banging, screaming, agony coming from the basement. And where does she go? Down to the basement. Right. And you did 100 miles an hour to get away, and then you turned around and went back. But in any decent horror movie, you deserved to die.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I appreciate the story, sir.
Oh, okay.
All right, take care. I mean, anybody who if that had been a horror movie, you'd have tire tracks going right over his body. Wild Card Line, you're on the air. Hello.
Yeah, Mark.
Yes.
Hey, I'm calling from Central California, driving a truck. My story involves probably about 100 years ago, both from my father and through his father. And the story goes that my grandfather and great uncle was out hunting rabbits with his brother, and they come across this whole lake producing area they call Aunt Polly, and the social was she was a witch. Well, she was out in her front yard and she was making apple butter, which apparently, I've never made it, but apparently if you make apple butter, it wants to pop and fill a load box pretty rapidly. Well, they told her that Aunt Polly, you better want the apple butter, it's going to get you. And apparently she looked at him and just sort of smiled and said, well, that can hurt me. And she turned up the sleeve and stuck her arm in and started stirring with her arm.
Oh, my goodness. And this is a relative of yours?
Yes, I guess it'd be like a great uncle.
Well, I don't know what to tell you. Do you ever have strange urgings yourself?
No, sure don't, Mark. Until you're still alive.
I appreciate your call, sir.
Thank you.
Be careful on the road out there.
All right.
All right, we got a lot of truckers out there. All right, bottom of the hour, stretch run coming up. This, of course, is Ghost to Ghost AM.
a century old. And basically a story about my mom and documentary.
If I'm right, there should be a lot of Hawaiian stories because the kind of plantation you're on, very early in Hawaiian history, was stocked with workers imported from the Philippines and elsewhere that worked very, very hard in those fields, and many of them died in those fields. And I would think that if there were hauntings, there would definitely be hauntings where you are.
Well, the home that I was in, actually my parents' home now, apparently was occupied by one of the mill managers.
Ah.
And the mill's been out for about 25, almost 30 years now. And basically, the home that we're in is haunted. But it goes back and forth. When I was born back in 71, my parents had just bought a homestead and remodeled it. And my mom had a thing called Great Dane. As we talked, every other cars we talked about animals being sensitive to ghosts.
You bet.
We had a Great Dane in South End, it was one of the biggest in the state. And my mom was upstairs one night, alone. My father was out in business out of street. And she remembers quite vividly the animal, with her name flying in. And it get very sensitive at night. And she would get chicken skin and get that feeling like you're in the presence of a ghost.
Yes.
And on one occasion, she walked up the stairs, and there were two full walking stairs. It's a 3-room upstairs in the home. And she remembers seeing an image of kind of a aloha shirt, or kind of a pattern, an old pattern, with kind of a dark, entity was kind of transparent, but she could see her, the skin walking back and forth. And I actually sat down with my mom and asked her about one of these incidents that had died in the home, because there had been apparently still pictures in the home and so forth.
Yeah.
And she was not receptive to my asking of the question. And I remember you never get that way. And on occasion, my father was work, and was working one time with my fact, and very soon the research of this, and my dad would be down in the room or something like that. I remember very vividly scraping the paint off one of the roof ceiling, and somebody asked me, "What are you doing?" My father threw everything down and looked back and said, what do you think I'm doing? And I realized that no one was in the home.
I appreciate the story, sir. Thank you very much. That's from Hawaii. And there are indeed many hauntings. They have a rich, very rich history. And one blue one, we did an entire program on Hawaiian hauntings. It was very good. We're going to have to repeat. Wow, Caroline, you're on the air. Hello.
Good morning, Mark. How are things?
Things are spooky.
They're nice and creepy, I know.
Yes.
I've got the candle lit, the lights are out. And I'm reminiscing about 20 years ago. I lived in an apartment. My name is Ron. I live in San Rafael. And for a long time, I lived in this apartment for 8 years, and eventually my girlfriend moved here and got married. And that was the last 3 years. Now, I had a waterbed. I was in sales. I'd come home in the afternoon before going back to the office. I'd lay down to take a bath, and there'd be a tugging on my body. Sometimes I would have that pressing sensation.
Yeah.
Where you get like paralyzed and all that.
Yeah.
That I thought was just some kind of sleep problem. But then I get this tugging. I was supposed to leave my body and go someplace. And I never saw anything strange in the apartment. Things moved around sometimes, and I thought, well, I just wasn't paying attention to what I was doing. When my girlfriend moved in, then we started having problems with the waterbed. Like, there was a leak, but there wasn't. Emptied all the water out, blew it up with a vacuum, checked the whole thing, there was no holes. Could not figure out what's going on. The flood of '82, we had to move. About 3-4 months later, I talked to the landlord, and I said, well, how things, you get your place back together? And he said, yeah. there's a strange thing happening. So what's that? It took about a month to clean the place up. A young lady moved in who was being taken care of by a gentleman who was married. Apparently, she was feeling the same things that we felt. She ended up committing suicide. Now, I didn't know until then that there was a gentleman that had passed away in the bedroom prior to my renting. So his spirit was bouncing around in there. Now there's two spirits bouncing around in there.
So that may have been the flood that saved your life.
You just saved my life. You know, it was never threatening. It was just, I started reading a lot of out-of-body experience.
I understand, but I mean,
yeah.
what happened to the girl that was in there following?
Well, I think maybe it's guilt was at her. I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah.
And the other thing you've got to consider is the possibility that had you remained,
you might have gotten worse.
Yeah. And
yeah.
You might have been.
Maybe he was upset that we were living together out of marriage or something. You know, who knows?
You did get married.
Oh, we did. We eventually got divorced, but that's another story.
Yeah, I'm sure it's a horror story too.
Well, the other thing of climbing off of Shasta and seeing visions up there. And I knew nothing about that at the time. And I thought it was like a guardian angel. And I thought I was going crazy. But I hiked up the mountain, dragging a toboggan, and it was full moon, right? And you know how you feel something behind you and the hair goes up?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking Castaneda. Left is death, right is the other way. And then left, right. Okay, make sure you turn to the right, Ron. So turn around, and on top of this rock, I see this glowing figure. Kind of like the statue down at L.A. for the awards. But the hands are at the side, not threatening, and I thought, I'm going straight to Napa, I lost my cookies, and I'm crazy. And so I thought, well, I'll turn around, and I looked at the statue and I said, thanks, I appreciate your help. And I turned around and I walked a couple steps and I said, better check one more time. I turned around, it was still there. And the only thing I could think to do was whistle a happy tune and run.
Hey, prior to your divorce, did an entity visit you and advise you to get a lawyer?
No, as a matter of fact, they did, because after that, you know, we moved and I haven't experienced any other crazy things.
All right. Well, I appreciate your story. Eastern Rockies, you're on the air. Hello.
Yes, hello. I'm calling from Tennessee. Can I get my first name?
Sure.
Let's call myself John. I'm afraid that the story might be recognizable to you.
Okay, John.
Okay.
I want everybody now to listen very carefully so we can identify John by his voice. Go ahead, John. Go ahead.
Okay. I'm going to explain a little bit of motivation for some of my actions that I draw immediate criticism from me.
Okay.
Okay. It involves a friend of mine and I in college. This was about 5 or 6 years ago. And a haunted auditorium. Now, we were those people who, a couple of years before this, had been complete unbelievers and all sorts of different phenomena. He was completely agnostic, and I wasn't sure what I was. But we had all found ways to explain all this away. And then we defended this third guy who was involved in the dark side of spiritual happenings and such, and we had problems that we had a hard time getting rid of. And we were both very interested in different religious traditions, but it was just in a sort of academic way. But we found ourselves sort of making a sort of hodgepodge of different religions.
UFOs all over the world. UFOs all over the world.
The college, and it had been a fort during the Civil War. And there had been several major battles on that hill. And there had been different stories about the auditorium, and some of them sounded possibly credible, some of them not so credible. and something that had happened to friends of ours. And so one night we often walk around campus one night, just talking and that sort of thing. And we would sit up on the hill near the auditorium, kind of gave it kind of light to the city. So we decided to go in one night. It's supposed to be locked. It doesn't work very well. I think they secured it better since then. And
we told you were going in to test all of this.
We were going in to test it all, right. And my friend had said that he had been in there and sent some things before, but he was in a stage at the time where he was, just writing it all off the and got myself worked up and, giving myself some food and stuff. So we wanted to try it again for him. And we both had been during the day, it's fine. It's like everything sort of goes into hiding. Well, when you first walk in, there's a sort of hostile atmosphere. There's it seems like there's a bunch of stories. And some of the stories that have been circulating with the fact that musicians and such that practice there so that they could come have experienced such things as hearing people move around and looking out and seeing all the eyes in the audience and all the seats and that sort of thing. Well, we sat there and I didn't see anything for a while, but there was a feeling that we weren't wanted.
UFOs all over the world.
About a night but we started watching. There was a feeling that we should just be very quiet, and we did notice a couple of I don't know what you call them, motions in the balcony. There was some like emergency lights, things that security light or something. And there would be like a black figure of a person would go towards the lighting and disappear.
So like you just about as soon as you're on.
Exactly. Yeah. And it was interesting. It was like that people trying to walk, but it didn't work right. It's like they thought they were feeling a body, but it didn't work right. Okay. Now on the ground around that auditorium was where a lot of the killings were taking place. There was actually a trench. I didn't know it was a trench at the time. When I would walk through it and get all sorts of creepy feelings, I wouldn't walk through it at night. I didn't know why. I didn't know why until 2 or 3 years later. I didn't know it was a battle trench. But I would get these sort of feelings that really dark sort of feelings of death and murder and such. So my friend and I laughed after how we had enough. And but after 2 or 3 days, we got to talking about it and felt that we should do something. If this is real, and if those are really spirits that left over from the war and such, and I mean that's terrible. That's what we were talking about, what you were talking about earlier, people being trapped on Earth and Civil War a long time ago. So what did you do? So we decided that we were going to try to help them each other, right? And so we were thinking of, what do people do around the world to deal with this sort of situation? And the Japanese, and also the Chinese, have something which is I think called a role play, where actors take on the role of the people that are involved in the story and they act it out. And through that acting out, the ghost sort of realizes that the people are aware of it, and it sort of exercises the ghost and it becomes non-correct.
So you did that?
We did that, and I'm trying to wrap this up quickly. So we played opposite sides. One was north, one was south. And we got on stage there, and we acted it out. And the highlight is, it all sort of became more real than I wanted to be. I felt sort of silly at first. But I instantly felt like younger than I was, like 15 or 16 or something, and scared out of my wits. Like I didn't know what I was doing. Here I was in the middle of this war. And I heard this voice, which I thought was my friend from across the stage, saying, "Be quiet." And I knew it was my commanding officer, and I was aware of the fact that when he said that I was whimpering and such, and I felt silly, I felt very immature. And I saw my friend rushing me across from the stage, and this is I'm going to die, the end of my life. And we ran at each other and acted out the rest. And I was real short. We shot at each other, and I felt that I had died. And I remembered my wife and knew that there was a child that I was not going to see again. And we got to walking out afterwards, and we felt like we really done something. And the year I actually worked a lot better than I thought it would. I mean, I was getting visuals, and I was like, yeah, the visuals sort of matched up. And I said to my friend, I think the high point was when you yelled over at me, like, be quiet, because I didn't know what you were doing at first, but I felt that it was my commanding officer telling me to, just get straight, get calm. Sure. And then he said, when you yelled at me, and tears started running down his face, and my niece laughed. He didn't do that. He didn't say that. And we didn't go back for a while. So we did want to know sort of if anything had happened. We did go around that area, and after about a month or so, we managed to get the courage to go back in, and the atmosphere did seem different. They weren't all gone or anything like that, but it seemed different.
Well, maybe it was minus 1 or 2.
That's what we were hoping.
Maybe you helped 1 or 2 on.
That's what we were hoping. That's sort of interesting. You're talking about the proactive thing, where it was a root for proactive.
Yes.
I think that some of the spirits are in the loop until something gets them out. I had another experience on YouTube, of course, that seems to indicate the same sort of thing. And that happened, but my friend and I did also seems to...
The big question is, are these soul spirits actually caught in a loop, in a truly a damned loop to repeat an endless horrible death, or is it simply sort of an echo of what did occur, not truly a trapped soul, but just an echo? It's a very, very important question.
Well, what our experience indicate, and what a lot of the cultures around the world believe, is that they are there. It's not trapped in the sense that they don't know what to do necessarily, but they're held there. It seems like some of them still were holding on to the war. I mean, some of them were still trying to know how.
Of course.
Yeah.
Nothing changed from the instant they died.
Right.
Their reality is still in.
Right, exactly.
Well, you did a very strange thing, but actually a very good thing, and I guess you felt good about it.
Yeah, we did. We felt relieved ourselves, yeah.
All right, well, listen, you have just completed Ghost to Ghost AM with one of the best stories, so I give you the honors. Tell everybody good night.
Good night, everybody.
That's it. Folks, we're out of time. It has been one of the best Ghost to Ghost shows, actually 2 of them this year. And it's been a pleasure. Thank you all. Sorry we didn't have more time. From the high desert, I'm Mark Bell. Good night.
The food items ignite, the tofu reaches the flame, and the gas door opens, and the racks containing burning food automatically expand.
Think of everything, now comes this. A company in Marina Del Rey, California is introducing a tablet for dogs and cats. It says will help the pets lose about 3% of body fat in just 2 weeks. And the company insists that it's really no joke at all. Veterinarians and obesity is a living testament. Jason Walker with news on the USA Video Network.
Listeners west of the Rockies can call Art toll-free by dialing 1-800-618-8255.
If you're east of the Rockies, the toll-free number is 800-825-5033. If you've never called out before, you may use the first-time caller line at area code 702-727-1222. And the wild card line is area code 702-727-1295. When you get through, let it ring, and I will answer your call in order on the air. This is the CDC Radio Network.
Now again, here is Art Bell. Ghost to Ghost AM underway. And that's true. It'd be fun to get some international ghost stories because these things, these strange things, are not limited to our country by long means, by long shot. So, no matter where you are in the world, get hold of the AT&T operator. Give it a try. It will not cost you a penny. It is free from anywhere in the world outside the USA. Get hold of the AT&T operator and have her call for you in the US, 800-893-0903. That's 800-893-0903. Wherever you are around the world, it'd be fun to hear some stories from elsewhere. Right now, I will tell you one amazing story. It's a discovery. It's found gold. A Wells Fargo bank here in Nevada found this incredible cache of US $20 gold pieces. Really incredible. When they sorted them, they found they were still covered with a fine coating of gold dust, which is rather typical of coins fresh from the mint. Very unusual for coins which are 90 years old. So these have been particularly preserved. If you'd like to see some photographs of these coins and learn more about them and their history, my sponsor, David Hall's North American Trading, will be more than happy to send them to you at no cost. It's the Wells Fargo Nevada Gold Coin Discovery, and if you want to know more, the number is 1-800-359-4255. That's 1-800-359-4255. When you think about the future, do you see our economy getting better or worse? With a small investment of your time, you can create security for yourself by learning to trade in commodities. Some financial pundits have made commodities a dirty word, but if you're learning the ins and outs, how to do it, how to approach it with the right attitude, commodities can pay off big time. Coffee, cattle, beans, that kind of thing. Here's the guy who can teach you. A multi-millionaire, that's how he made it, Ken Roberts. He'll teach you in a step-by-step process. You learn how to invest on paper, no risk. You'll know when you're ready, and when you are, you begin using real money. Call now, 1-800-GOLD-KRC. This is absolutely free with no obligation. A complete report and audio tape that explains everything. No more guesswork, no more confusion. Just straightforward information. Call 1-800-GOLD-KRC. That's 1-800-GOLD-KRC. Are you having arthritis pain? Would you like to stop that pain in your joints now? Requesting and enjoying the survey can help with the arthritis assist formula. Even looking at a fraction of you pay in store. Plus, the arthritis assist formula contains another revolutionary nutrient that helps many people in Europe. Gelatin. Gelatin's full of the same kind of protein found in cartilage to stop the tissue to your joints so they don't hurt. At the age, most of us get arthritis and our others keeping in shape for them. Studies show that gelatin nutritionally supports sugar regeneration. Gelatin, along with glucosamine and glycogen sulfate, are found in the arthritis assist formula. Stop those aches and pains without drugs by using all natural arthritis assist. Here's the offer. Order a 90-day supply of arthritis assist, and you'll get a pain relief cream that provides immediate relief for joints absolutely free. Call 1-800-232-5665. It's guaranteed to work in your money back and you can't get it from space. Call now, 1-800-232-5665. You've got nothing to lose but to pay. Laura, to the international line, and where are you, please?
My name's John. I'm calling you from Kingston, Ontario, Canada.
Excellent. Welcome to the program. Do you have a story for us?
Oh, I have a story that was not what I'll call a story, so we call it. 3 years ago, I bought a house in Purple Lake, Ontario, Canada. And my daughter, who at the time was 8 months old, she was diagnosed with toilet asthma. And one night, I'm the truck driver, and I got home from California. I just finished doing California with my wife. We got to last work. And I put my daughter to bed, and I went to sleep myself. And I was sound asleep, and all of a sudden, it was almost as if somebody came up and gave me a good hard kick. And I woke, and there was almost a smell of that somebody had been baking in the kitchen. And I looked and I heard my daughter that she's having trouble breathing in the next room. So I went in and I coming through her and later on, I guess this is a week or so after that, we bought this house. It was an estate sale when we bought the house there. We bought it, I guess this old woman had lived there and passed away. And so we got furniture and out of the house, like side room full of kitchenette. And my wife had arranged the business in the sideboard according to the way she wanted them. But we came home one day and went into the sideboard to get some dishes out for dinner. And it found that the dishes had been rearranged in the way that I suppose that the old woman who lived in the house before it liked to have them arranged or something like that. But there was a sweet old lady, like, there was situations happening in the house all the time.
And you think it was that old lady who was present remaining?
Well, yeah, like I know it was the old lady because my daughter, when she was 2, she was in the room and she was talking to someone, and I opened the room and asked her who she was talking to, and they just called them like this is someone in the kitchen, and she said, Emma. And I said, Emma? She said, yeah, Emma. And like, I got to know the neighbors in the neighborhood there, and I was talking to the next door neighbor there.
Yes. Your lady's neighbor would live there. Was over.
No. It turned out that she was a good old lady always taking for the children in the neighborhood. And all the children in the neighborhood referred to her as Alma. I guess she was a Dutch old lady, and Dutch grandma is Alma.
I understand. Thank you very, very much for the call. And let me say this. Not only is it my belief that people need to see, but I believe that children who are as well not yet been conditioned. And I think the reason a lot of adults don't see them is because they have been well conditioned. The brain is not going to accept. Does that make sense to you? It certainly does to me. Hello, Frontline. You're on the air. Hello. Hi. Where are you?
I'm in Honolulu.
Oh, Hawaii. All right.
I'm Cape Verde.
Yes, of course.
I have a real quick story and then a better one. This one was kind of funny. When I was a teenager, my girlfriend and I were here at my grandma's house, and my dad made a beautiful picture of Jesus on the map in his gold gilded veneer, beautiful old brown, and it was hung above the bed. And the bed was on this grass, it had a grass headboard and turquoise. My girlfriend and I were laying on the bed, and we were teenagers, we were joking and laughing and calling each other names, and we were trying to pick our names to call each other. And we were just calling names back and forth, and pretty soon swear words started coming out, and, blowing more frequent swear words, and, we were really using special words too. We were in and out of calling for it. And we were laughing hysterically like teenage girls do. And all of a sudden, this picture of Jesus jumped off the wall and hit her in the head.
There's a lot of stories about teenage girls. Teenage girls have a certain energy and power that seems to make things happen around them. Okay.
Yeah, and we looked at the picture and the wire of the helmet was intact and the nail was at an angle. So we would have to jump up, to get out that nail. So,
well, I hope you just get a more clear message.
we kept laughing immediately. And then the next thing, this happened to me just maybe 2 months ago. I don't like sleeping. I was asleep all night, and how you talk and rearrange the pole, and I was just saying that, and I wasn't quite asleep, and I felt like somebody was watching me, and I turned around to look, and there was nobody there, and I always have this small fluorescent light on in my apartment, and so I could see there was nobody there, but I couldn't get over this feeling of a presence, and it was a real evil feeling. And so I turned my back to it, and I covered myself up, and I said a prayer, and it wouldn't go away. And I said a prayer, and I just turned it over to God, and I said, wherever it is, I'm church, and that commission, I got into sleep, and I started dreaming. And as soon as the dream started, it was like a wind of string, those real strings being pulled down.
Sure.
It was like a string was being pulled down over my field of vision, and on the string was a geometric pattern. And I thought about this last night, and I heard Dad started talking to you about, the geometric pattern.
Many have talked about that.
Right, and this one was, mine was black, with little black colors in it, and then it had these bright sparks of gold flashing off of it. And it's so hard to describe, but I tried to put it into words. But when I looked at it, and I couldn't stop looking at it, because it was, like I said, it was like a string being pulled down over my vision. I got these horrible feelings of dread, and just continuing doom and horror, and terror, and ugliness, and I thought to myself, I'm like, God, this is what ugliness really looks like. This is ugliness. And now I realized I couldn't make this vision go away. And I realized this isn't a dream. And so I started to say the Lord's Prayer. Well, every time I said a little bit on the Lord's Prayer, the dream would start being, it start going up, and I would stutter and get scared and forget what I was saying. The dream would start coming back down over my eyes, and I realized that something was trying to take over my brain. That's what I thought. I thought, no, this is a dream. So I sat up, and I stood up, and I walked around my room, and the feelings of dread was still there. And, I was terrified, and so I walked around my room, and I sang the Lord's Prayer out loud. And the more I started, the more scared I got. And even though I was walking around, I could still feel the string being pulled down from my eyes. And finally I thought, I'm going to be too bad. And I was terrified. And so,
something was trying to take you.
Right. And so finally I just said, I can't ask it. I'm not going to do it. And I realized that it was probably feeding off my fear. And the only thing I could do was to let it go. And I've really been very good at that. I've always been a worrier and a fearful person, and I've really been good at letting things go. But I just told God, I said, send my angel down here right now, because I can't fight this thing, and if you don't, if you don't stop it, it's going to take over my mind.
And at that moment?
Well, the fear was still there, but I laid down, and I said the prayer 2 or 3 times. I said, please let my angel be here, and I fell asleep. And as soon as and I repeated prayer, the first prayer to go away, and I could feel when I really get business stop. But, when I woke up the next morning, I was fearful. I thought, what's going to happen the next morning? I don't know,
Sure.
And, I got some shades to cleanse some air in my room, and, I got some sea salt and put it on our bedside, and just one of those protective things. But, as time went on, as I talked to people about this, and I heard some other people say that things like this had happened to them during the night,
yes.
I realized that, I take it as it was like a test in my face, and it only made my face stronger, and, I'm not afraid anymore.
All right, well, I've got something that will go right with that. Back in the early 80s, I was living in the fast lane in Miami. At that time, I knew my lifestyle was morally unacceptable. Nonetheless, I was young and foolish.
we would come in the kitchen when we didn't really, thinking, we've got a call or,
Sure.
sitting on the bed.
Obviously.
Well, we were in, and the knife drawer had been pulled out, and there was knives scattered all over the kitchen floor. Just everywhere. And, my parents, they never thought anything about it. Any of the houses we ever lived in, if anything would have happened, they just blew it off, and it was our imagination, and that we were just getting into something and just not doing it. But 2 or 3 times, that hasn't really the worst about it, but after that, my sister ended up moving to the other end of the house. My parents moved right by the steps because they just couldn't handle it.
Okay, well, what I would tell you is this. Frequently, puzzles, you may have been somewhat mistaken. And it may not have been that you continually moved into the front of the puzzles, but rather the puzzles followed for your family. I would consider that far more likely than the very unlikely possibility that you continually moved into public houses. To me, the puzzles probably followed you. Mr. Rogers, you're on air. Good morning, where are you?
I am in Aurora, Ohio.
Larry. Okay, Larry, welcome. Do you have a good story?
Yeah, started my father passed away about 10 years, 1988. Was the first funeral. After we buried, the day we buried him, the sun was out, but it was still kind of cold. I always loved, snow. No matter what kind of time of day, he always went to the window and watched the snowfall.
Right.
Well, when we buried him, when we got to the gravesite, the sun was shining and it was snow. So I thought that was kind of nice.
The sun was shining and it was snow.
And it was snow.
Okay.
When we buried him. This is more, and then about me and my mom both had a funny feeling. We had a feeling of presence, but we didn't know who it was in the house. So one day I got up early, and I went downstairs, and there's my dad sitting on the couch. I kind of stopped. I wasn't afraid. I stopped and I looked at him. I said, "Hi, Dad." He answered me. And I says, "What are you doing here?" And he says, "I just come back to make sure to tell you to take care of your mother." And after he said that, he got up and he walked into the dining room and he disappeared.
Incredible. All right, well, thank you very much. works for 90 degrees standard. No matter for a booklet, pick any form you want from 90 degrees standard. And remember, there's always time for a good book if it's an audio book. You know, you should be members and such a thing over the next few years to take a look at it. So where is the 651 for 2 minutes to get to the table? 1-800-651-6900. Hi, this is David Church with today's Eco Quiz. Last year, more than 37 billion fuel cans were used in the U.S., and about half of those cans were recycled. We should be able to recycle a lot more than that. Do you know the difference between a tin can and a steel can? Here's the answer to today's Eco Quiz. There is no difference between a tin can and a steel can. What some people call tin cans are really steel cans with a thin can coating, and the average American uses 144 of those cans each year. Are you recycling the steel cans you use? It'll really help. For every ton of steel recycled, we save 2,500 pounds of board, 1,400 pounds of coal, and 120 pounds of limestone. Recycling also cuts down on solid waste and saves landfill space. Get involved, get the facts, and recycle. This is David Church from Eco Quiz. Eco Quiz is a public service of the National Recycling Coalition and the Steel Recycling Institute. We're more environmentally conscious Americans.
The money they have in the bank is turning my dream house into reality.
Now, I'm all on the way, paying college tuition for my 5 daughters.
What you do with your money is your business. How you can make more of it is ours. Individual Investor Magazine is focused on one thing: results. Each month, Individual Investor seeks out undiscovered companies on the way up and distills that valuable information into simple, detailed profiles that you can act on.
They helped me earn the money to start my own company.
Individual Investor highlights growth stocks on a verge of explosion and a large mutual fund. I was with one of their picks, and it doubled in 1 year. For the 4th year in a row, Individual Investor's Magic 25 stock picks beat the experts and the indexes. And so did our readers. For $22.95, get 1 year of Individual Investor Magazine, the Magic 25 issuing monthly update. To get Individual Investor, call 1-800-917-8400. What do I do with the money I make reading Individual Investor? Invest it and make more. And now it's time for the weather. Andy?
It's going to be a beautiful day, Chef. Perfect for getting skin cancer.
Just because skin cancer doesn't mean a nose, doesn't mean it's not dangerous.
Our extended forecast calls for someone to die of melanoma every hour.
Check yourself regularly for mole or lesion-shaped moles, freckles, or blemishes. Thanks, Andy. Sounds like good news for both of you.
Oh, anybody who wants to malignant melanoma.
Linkage to the American Academy of Dermatology. Here's to your health, like Deborah Wayne.
On Here's to Your Health, we schedule interviews with experts in the various fields of alternative medicine. Hello, I'm Deborah Ray, host of the program. I'm often joined by Talk Radio's medical maverick, Dr. Donald Thoreau. And there's always an opportunity for your questions and comments.
be over again. Stop when I say lover, not a friend. I'm talking to the wind.
I really think this is the best way to do this ad for the basic radio. It simply says, hello Art, as you know of the weather that has occurred from Colorado to western Iowa, I want to relay to you the massive power outages in Lincoln and Omaha, Nebraska. We got here over 100,000 homes without power, and to date, at least 10,000 homes still don't have power. I'm writing this to you to let you know that I was prepared with one very powerful thing that no one should be without. The Beijing two-play radio. The shelves in all the stores in Omaha were completely exhausted of batteries within hours. But I had the security of knowing that I don't need batteries. Was the purchase of such a radio worth it? Yes, with about 10 exclamation points following it. The only question I have to ask anyone out there in the world is, why would you not own one of these radios? And listen. It always says at the bottom, you have my permission to use this in any commercial for the Beijing two-play radio, no compensation expected. That's from Dan. Thank you, Dan. The Beijing two-play radio doesn't need power. And Dan is exactly right. Why would anybody not own one of these? It has a crank on the side. It's a full-size portable AM/FM shortwave. You turn the crank for 30 seconds. 30 seconds. And the radio plays for 30 minutes. 30 full minutes. Now, obviously that makes it the quintessential emergency radio. When the power goes out, this radio continues to work and the batteries don't die because it doesn't have batteries. It plays in that 30 minutes at full room volume, made in South Africa, and it's made like a tank. I just, for the life of me, I'm kind of like Dan. I can't understand why anybody wouldn't have one. They're selling out like hotcakes. The price $119.95 delivered to your home. Before it's too late, call Bob Crane in the morning and get one on the way. Have it on the shelf, have it by the bed, whatever you want, but have it. The number is 1-800-522-8863. 1-800-522-8863. Ask for the Beijing three-play radio. Are you overweight? Would you like to lose an average 8 to 10 pounds in the next month? We know that fiber helps sweep fat out of the digestive tract like a broom, reducing the amount of fat your body stores as excess weight. Well, let me tell you about a revolutionary fiber. Hydrogen. It's a natural fiber that comes from shellfish. It not only sweeps fat, but also absorbs